sucks. It'll give me like here's the letter E in a random spot. And you just got to go, wow, where are all of the other letters for that? 6:21 in the morning. All right, here's where we are right now. It says that I'm online and running on the Facebook side, so I'm going to go back on and try to take a look and see if there's anything happening. If the new thing has popped up. Yes, it is. The big weekend is here. Is the name of it. Oliver, I'm going to do this in real time. Oliver Malakis and Dan Rasal are watching the show here today, and I might do this. Yes, it is. The big weekend is here is the name of it. Oliver. All right, doesn't seem to be stuttering. Okay, so that's good. Big man Rico Blancaflor in there. So I'm going to let that populate for a second and go over some of the other incredible items on the table of contents. Wasn't that amazing? What was that, like 6 minutes of blather?
That was great, Ray.
Thank you very much. I'm that good. I'm
Friday,
that good.
bro.
I'm here. All right, so it's the Friday before the general election.
No pressure.
I will restart that here. Mean Machine will be online in a couple of minutes. I need a break to effectively turn that thing back on, and I'll take a look at some of the things that are in there. Some of the things that I have placed on the Mean Machine. Kind of some interesting stuff here. Is it possible that there has been a breach of the Mini Hatch Act? You're not supposed to.
Oh no!
It's not supposed to be any campaigning.
No campaigning at
yeah, no campaigning on the government on the government's dime
during government hours.
Yes. And I got a friend of mine.
Man.
A friend of mine sent it to me yesterday, and it is a screen cap of an email that went out on the DOE, the Department of Education Services. She's a teacher. I'm not going to say she's a teacher. She's with the Department of Education, and yesterday she got an email that said GFT Cope endorses Democrat team Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh Tenorio for governor. The Guam's largest employee union is all in with Lou and Josh. The GFT Committee on Political Education surveyed its membership, and they are pleased to endorse the gubernatorial team they believe will best serve our public agencies and Guam's working families. Because everything is going great for the Department of Education, and we don't have any spalling roofs. Wait, we do. But at least we don't have any public health issues in any of the schools. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We've got that thing over at Ocean View Middle, right? Yeah, okay. No, it's all right. But it says here, because you said yes to GFT Cope endorsing a political for governor of Guam, which candidate from a major political party do you endorse? Democrats, 67%, Republicans, 33%. So Guam Federation of Teachers, Committee on Political Education endorses Lou Leon Guerrero and Josh Tenorio, Democrats for governor and lieutenant governors. It's got the GFT logo on it, but it also has the All In with Lou and Josh logo on it. That's a campaign ad, guys. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a campaign ad.
Does it say who it was paid for by?
It's I'm trying to think if I've got the whole thing all the way down, but because it's
who paid for that, Ray?
Who paid for this? Tony Babauta paid for that. So I immediately sent a copy of this over to His Honor, Bob Klitsky, who is also in the middle of a Mini Hatch Act violation against Roy Gamboa over at the CSC.
Oh, no.
And he said, maybe, possibly, we'll take a look at it. And so we might get a hold of him to see what's going on. But it looks
your
like
notebooks ready.
What somebody's going to say, remember when they did that at Guam Behavioral Health, and they were like, oh, no, it's a complete accident, total misunderstanding. And by the way, it doesn't make any difference. The person that complained doesn't work here anymore. So moot.
Left for health reasons.
So I'm right. So I'm wondering what the excuse is going to be now. Oh my God, overzealous fan. What can we say? As opposed to yeah, we forgot what the law is, and we posted that anyway. And then you got the other interesting thing here yesterday, where they shut down the Tammy Post Office's post office.
Oh yeah, was it baking powder or baking soda? What's the difference?
It was baking soda.
Baking soda.
Right. But you know
I need
what?
to snort it. It's so different.
Heavy duty. You know what you can use baking soda for?
Yeah.
Everything. There is nothing on the
making
planet
crack cocaine. Ray.
You cannot use baking soda for. Look, you go to Pinterest. You ever go to Pinterest?
I didn't say that.
You ever go to Pinterest?
I do every day, Ray.
But if
every day.
You go to Pinterest and you look up like household cleaning tips, and they all begin with get some baking soda and make a paste out of it, and you can do and vinegar
or vinegar.
You'll be able to You'll be able to clean the little rings around a toilet that everybody has.
It doesn't work, man.
No, it doesn't work like that. No, you got to chisel that stuff out. It's hard water. What can I say? Anyway, so much going on in my head. A lot of items in the table of contents. A lot of people that we hope to talk to this morning. The guys over at the Guam Hogs got a big Veterans Day ride ride coming up. They talked a little bit about the Veterans Day activities earlier, but they decided that we'll separate Veterans Day stuff and then the fun run that they're going to be doing over the in the next couple of days. So details on that a little bit later on. And the who's the other one is
Janae.
Janae's going to be coming in. I guess is that tonight that they're doing this?
Some whiskey tasting.
There's a whiskey tasting at the it's at the what do you call it? The museum. Where they're doing some kind of whiskey tasting.
So stay tuned.
Only a few details on that and a free ticket. But I don't know that I'm going to be able to go. So I'm going to see if I might be able to get that ticket and give it away on the radio to true believers and whiskey fans out there all over the place. 6:27 in the morning, and let me see if I can scrounge up a bunch of people, like I said on the thing, to see who's joined us already. Nate says, "Let's try this again." Like they do in the karaoke bars. Moichido. Excuse me, Moichido. I'm sorry. I want to start all over again because I started singing and the guy over at Table 7 thought we were duetting, but we're not duetting. Table 7, not duetting. Okay, ma'am. Moichido. Moichido, please. Not like that's ever happened to me before. Big man Rico's online, who is a karaoke guy. Mike Grace, Blas, Dan Rizal, and MT Farron.
Dude, I didn't play the song, man.
What's that?
I didn't play the song.
You didn't play the song. Crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where my head is, bro.
Okay.
You want to do the song?
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Rico, big man Rico says, cheers to everybody. That's nice. MT Farron and Donna Marie, buenas and to Mark Voigtland watching the program, Joe Antitanu, and Jose Martinez says, baking soda will always be the fuel for plastic submarine toy that was the prize in my box of honeycomb cereal. He says, if you know, you know.
We do know.
Wait. Are we?
Oh,
if you
man,
know, you
we'll
know
see.
about the toy, or if you know about the honeycombs, because that used to be one of my favorite cereals when I was growing up. I'd
Yes.
always ask my mom, I said, "Get me the honeycombs," and I'd eat them by the honeycombs at my house. Never saw milk. Ever. Just never saw milk. I'd eat those things like potato chips, watching my Star Treks.
They were too big for milk because to eat with a spoon, you had to eat them like chips.
Concur. Absolutely. I got Henry Menglotya out there, and Pretty Sarita Garin says, where everybody knows your name. I thought I had some great pictures up on, here it comes, beautiful wake-up pictures from Sarita, and I'll put those up online right about now, so you might be able to see them as we say color good on the sunrise here this morning. There it is. Beautiful screen, beautiful screensaver pictures, quality stuff. We had to blow this stuff up, put it on some satiny pictures, paper, and hang it in hotels. $100, absolutely. 888-825-5888-TALK. Who else is paying around? Marla Carbolito Castro saying good morning to everybody. There's Auntie Bennett Lujan Duenas. Did you see what she was cranky about the noise on the thing yesterday? So
Yeah.
that's it. Checking out K57.
She's the audio supervisor.
Hiya, Auntie Bennett. Love you though.
Love you.
Jack Larimer, where are you playing tonight, bro? Where's your thing going to be at? You know what, Jack? Could you do me a favor? And just I don't want to say just do it for me. But I know that there's a lot of point people that go and check you out when you're playing in the clubs and the bars and stuff.
Yeah.
Just every once in a while, throw in the Cheers song.
Oh,
Just every once in a while,
Just a little.
throw in our theme song and see if anybody goes, hey, that's us, baby. Mark and Francis Ismail says, I love that song. Franklin Meadow says, snow on the ground, 6 feet by tomorrow, they say. Where are you at, Bunker? Where's he at where there's snow? Or is that a stupid question in November?
Oh, I think he's in Washington, maybe, or Alaska.
Bunker, why don't you give up some details? Henry Menglotya is there. John Duenas, happy belated birthday to Ron Okada of San Francisco, California. Good to see you there. Randy Landis online. Colin Clark says, good job, Joe. Stick to procedure. Come on, checklist. That's what we need. Jack says, I was listening on the app for a while. Good man. Auntie Bennett says, vote Mana. Okay, good idea. Ava Brennan Fausto and Frank Meadow says, yeah, that stuff will tear your mouth up. I was trying to explain to my daughter the other day and for no good reason. It was just a thought that goes in my head. Other dads will understand, where you're just kind of walking around and then all of a sudden a random thought comes into your head and says, like, I got to download this to you right now, otherwise I'll forget. But for some reason, we were talking about fish and little fish in particular and manioc. And she says, do you like that? I said, oh, my God, I love manioc. Since I was a kid, that was one of my favorite things in the world. It was if Grandma was cooking chilaquiles, or because Mom always made a great pot of that stuff, or if it was manioc season, we get pounds of this stuff in the house, and Mom would throw it in the frying oil, and you eat them like potato chips, like French fries, little tiny fishy French fries, and you'd eat so much of that you would literally tear your mouth apart from all the little thin pieces that come out there. It's all pokey, and your cheeks and your tongue's all swollen from eating that stuff.
Crunchy, so
want to do it again. When do we get to do that again? Sugar Pops also never needed milk, says Rico. There he is, future maybe Attorney General Doug Moylan. Doug, this is it, baby, the last weekend. Are we bringing Eric the Eagle back? Will there be on Wednesday morning a Doug Moylan jingle? No pressure, Donna. She shot me that little sister that's in charge of everything. Look, okay. Keena McCausland is making the burr emoji. Must be cold where she is today. Dennis Benzer says, I need a new start word. We're going to try to make lightning strike fast. I know a few start words, but honestly, they're all dirty.
Shawshank.
and I don't necessarily want to start that right now. Oliver Malakas, have a safe weekend. Watch out for waivers. Oh, that's right. Waivers going to be out there on the things here this morning. Francie Salas, Buenos and half a day. Jack Lerman says, oh, hell yeah, we'll do it. Good idea. Always come in. Make me the CEO now of Jack Larimer Enterprises, because I will come up with good ideas for you all the time. Bunker says he's freezing cold, 6 inches of snow on the ground in Plummer, Idaho. Anybody an idea?
Oh, wow. The potato capital of the world.
Could be. I don't know. Matt Geiger. Matt Geiger's online here this morning.
Morning, Matt.
Hey, handsome. Nice to see you. Can it be Wednesday? I'm so sick and tired of these political BS political ads. I humbly ask for just one of your votes so I can continue to break my promises and do nothing for the people. I know. Nick is one of those guys. Thank God he can only vote once, right? Because could you imagine this guy stuffing the ballot? Can you imagine?
Full auto.
Oh, my God.
Full auto voting.
Exactly. Auntie Bennett saying, vote Doug Moylan for AG. Did you see Dr. Akimoto's letter in Pacific Island Times yet? No.
Ooh, yeah.
Wait. I think I have. I don't know. It might have been one of those things that I was going to riff on, but I got distracted by etc. Morning, everybody, says Matt. Good to see Jerome McDonald in Orange County, California.
Nice.
This is 65 degrees, 46 degrees last night. Humidity only 27%.
Ooh, yummy.
That's cold, if you ask me. 65 degrees and only 27% humidity and a good wind that'll go right through the bones of your body. At least they will if you're from Guam. 65 stateside, they don't even feel that anymore. Harvey says, after they humbly get your vote, good luck ever getting a call back once they're in office. Adonis Mendiola is there, and again, Dennis Benzer checking out the show. Do me a favor, hit the share button this morning. I wouldn't normally ask, desperately for you to hit the share button, but because we got the late start and everything, I feel like it's going to take me a while to get back to where we're supposed to be in terms of viewers. Some of them might have, checked in, said, oh, he's either not there or it's stuttering, so I'm going to go check somebody else out. Just whatever, Twitter. But send the thing out there and let them know that we're online and everything is groovy. On the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. It's 6:35 in the morning. There are a number of items in the table of contents. I only had 2 hours on the air yesterday. And so, as you can imagine, there's a whole bunch of political gossip and smart-ass comments that we missed over the last 2 hours yesterday. I'm going to try to cram them all in to the 3.5 hours that we've got here between us today. So hit the like, share, whatever button on whatever it is that you're looking for. And if you're wondering about some of the other items that are going to be coming up in our conversation, let's find out what the big stories are. Donna D has got news and headlines right about now. Havadana, what happened?
Now that early voting has ended, a voting list has been sent to each political party. Although ballots are secure, the list compiles more than 6,000 names, including your birthday, precinct, and the date you voted. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says confirming that you voted is a good thing, as it helps with voter participation. It also gives parties a better count of who is left to contact for support and possibly raise objections for someone double voting. And the latest statistics from the U.S. Commerce Department's Bureau of Economic Analysis show Guam's real gross domestic product increased 1.1% in 2021 after an 11.4% decrease in real GDP in 2020. Export of goods and services decreased 49.2%, and total compensation decreased by $31 million, primarily due to a 76% plunge in tourism. And 22 customs officers were promoted yesterday to the rank of Customs and Quarantine Officer 3. Their role is essential in guarding the island's borders from anything dangerous or illegal. The community is reminded to assist Customs and Quarantine in keeping the island safe by reporting any sightings or suspicious activity to CQA at 642-8071. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Okay, those aren't the same people that said if you see anybody, suspicious activities around the borders or sneaking in on the beaches, call it in. And then when you call it in and they say, well, we just can't, look at you because you're Chinese, right? There's different guys?
That was the police chief.
Okay, all right. 6:37, Ray Gibson Show. It's Friday morning, 888-8255, 888-TALK. The meme machine is online right now, and somebody who might be listening on the on an app out there somewhere, in the Southern Banks, as he says, is where he is. We've got Dennis, the B-Man, who is out doing some early morning fishing with fishguam.com. Okay, they got their plug. So it's the Dennis guys. It's B-Man 1, B-Man 2.
Mahi,
up
Wahoo.
on the screen. So what are we shooting for here today?
Where's your fishing spot?
Well, he said they're going south. He said they're going south. So I don't know if they're going to be
Galvez.
I don't know if we're talking about marlin country up there, but it would be nice, a little bit of free. Don't get me too much though, because I don't have any room in my freezer. You ever get that? Man,
yeah, right. Because of all the elk and deer.
I got a buddy. He's in the military, and they had this thing, and he's like, dude, I got like 10 pounds worth of really really good base quality hamburger patties.
Ooh.
The ones for like 4th of July parties, really, really good patties that they've got there. He says, I don't need them. Do you want them? And I said, yeah. He says, I'll bring them over. I said, bring me a freezer. Go back to the base and get me a freezer because I got no place to put all this.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of other crap in the freezer. I told you a couple of weeks ago I cleaned out. I spent a Saturday cleaning out the refrigerator part and getting rid of everything except the Arm & Hammer soda
box.
thing. Yeah. So I got rid of everything except that, and it looks clean, spick and span, no more blood stains from anything. And so I've been threatening to do the same thing with the freezer, but I just kind of haven't gotten around to it. Maybe somewhere in between now and the first return from the Guam Election Commission. Studio time 6:38. I'll be right back.
Across all walks of life, all professions, every societal change, education has been the way forward. As governor, I built 4 new schools and broke ground on a 5th. Tony and I have a plan to modernize and build for the future. This election, vote for the team that has actually done something for education on Guam. For details on our plans for education, visit CamachoAdaforGuam.com. I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Ada.
We approve this message.
Hoffaday, I'm Frank Bloss Jr. As a senator, I know full well the responsibility of having the weight of your worries on my shoulders. I also accept that I'll have to make decisions that are right but aren't popular. What matters is I do my best for you. This election, I ask for just one of your votes so I can continue to work on what concerns you most. I'm Frank Bloss Jr., number 1 Republican, and I thank you for listening. Paid for by Friends for Frank, Dave Morcilla, Treasurer.
Vince Borja epitomizes determination. His family was so poor that he received his first pillow when he joined the Army. Vince went from extreme poverty to obtaining a master's degree, becoming a non-commissioned officer in the Army, working for a Fortune 500 company, and becoming an entrepreneur. Vince even gave up his job as a professor so he could run and serve his people. You cannot teach grit and determination. With Vince Borja, you don't have to. It's in his DNA. So is leadership. Vote Vince Borja for senator. Determination has a name.
My name is Vince Borja, and I approve this message.
I got 6:40 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. On screen right now, is it going to be the traffic map? No, it's not going to be the traffic map. It's a sunset image from Tumon Bay. And you're looking at the sunset image going, where in Tumon Bay is that? Where they have that kind of swimming pool? Where they have that kind of curvy lounge thing near the swimming pool? Where exactly is that? That's not Tubaki Towers. That's not the Dusitani. Where exactly is that? You got to go a little bit further down the street. Let me just tease you with this a little bit. Some of you might have already gotten, just because you know it's me, you might have already gotten a clue here. But this is one of the pool gizmos. I don't know how many they've got. They used to have two, but this is at least one of the pool gizmos at the new what's the name of Shelley's hotel down there? The Wynn. Is it the Win? I think it's the Win.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's going to kill me because I'm getting it wrong right now. But they've just gone through like 2.5 years or so of rehabilitation, refurbishment of the what used to be the old Fiesta Hotel, which used to be the old Daiichi Hotel.
Daiichi.
All right, Daiichi. Number one, there's all. And so they've got
It's
another.
nice.
I want to say it's the Wyndham, but we already have a Wyndham somewhere down there, don't we? Crap, Mark Cruz, what's the name of the place? I know you've been there.
Right?
Oh, I should just stop talking. But anyway, but I did want to let you know that they're that close. There's water in the pool. That's how you know that they're that close to getting back into the mix. So I want to send a congratulations to Big Sister Shelley and everybody that is in charge of that operation, putting them back together. And I hope to very, very soon be able to stumble into that pool after hanging out on those little curvy lounges for way too much time. I don't have the map up yet, but it won't be difficult to get it up on the screen right now because that's the way it goes here. 6:42 in the morning on screen now with the map of what's happening on your roadways. Let me just click out so you can see what's happening up on the roadways up in Dededo. I'd like to start up in there. Anderson Air Force Base. Not a whole lot of traffic at the front end. Not seeing a whole lot moving southbound on Marine Corps Drive or the back road to Anderson. Not even seeing anything over at the intersection of 1 and 3. Wysang Song looking good over at the Harmon Extension. Looking good. Micronesia Mall and all of 16 running fairly clean right now. I'll zoom out so I can see the rest of the island. And now let me see, now that you can see it. Not a whole lot happening on Route 4. Route 8 into town running clear. Route 4 into town running clear. Nothing major getting into the downtown Higuetna area. And as you're making your way down to Big Navy in Sumai, should not see too many other issues down there. Are you going to go and check out the new submarine?
Oh yeah, of course.
I think they got a new submarine. I was reading something in the news here. Navy expanding attack submarine presence on Guam as a hedge against growing China fleet. The USNI News reporting amid strategic competition with China, the United States plans to augment its ability to operate submarines out of Guam after sending LA-class nuclear attack submarine USS Springfield to Guam earlier this year. The Navy will spend the next 5 to 10 years building out both its maintenance capacity and training capabilities on the island. Looking to the future, wonder if we've got 5 or 10 years before the big bright flash.
Oh man,
They must know more than me. Looking to the future, we're going to expand our submarine operating capability with Guam to optimize our presence and war fighting capacity in the Western Pacific, said Rear Admiral Jeffrey Jablon. Quote, this is going to include augmenting our maintenance capacity with the necessary facilities, infrastructure, and personnel, building additional pier facilities and services, expanding the capabilities of our shore-based training facilities here on Guam. And it goes on to have that the conversation in those specific military terms. That specifically refers to the People's Republic of China. You know, we've heard that we're at an inflection point. It's a critical decade. It's a decisive decade, and it's true. This is my number one concern as the Pacific Fleet Force commander for the submarine force. We are in the decade of maximum danger. So it was a feel-good interview. When you stop and think about it, but it's nice to know that it might be a little bit more crowded on a Friday night over at Horse and Cow with a bunch of new boomer guys in town. 6:44. That's all the time we got for traffic and stuff. I got more of the Ray Gibson Show on the way.
I'm Dr. Sam Abini Young. I've always believed in the value of education, effort, humility, and accountability. As your senator, I will prioritize the training and education of students and workers to support the rebuilding of our economy. I understand our community's need for affordable living and housing and the need for aggressive drug enforcement to stop its serious impact. And there's a need for smarter and smaller government, like a part-time legislature that works for Guam and having more efficient GovGuam departments. Please support me with one of your votes for senator to work for you on these issues. I'm Dr. Sam Abini Young.
Paid for by friends of Sam Abini Young, Gina Ramos Treasurer.
Fly to new experiences with 3 times United miles with First Hawaiian Bank's United credit card. Earn 3 times per dollar spent on United tickets purchased through United ticketing channels until February 28th, 2023, and 2 times miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Congratulations to public school teachers who received a raise this year. The increase was long overdue and well-deserved. It is just unfortunate that it had to become an election tactic of the current administration. As it was during Governor Camacho's tenure, we will make schools safe, secure, and conducive for learning for our students. No pandering, no vote buying, just prioritizing our island's children. It's time for a new season.
I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Adams.
We approve this message.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Oh, hell, I'm triggered already. Crap. Well, I thought I was going to try to make it all the way through the morning without getting triggered. But I saw something earlier, and it just made me roll my eyes. There's another one of these stories that comes out. Where are these people? It's in the PDN, and they cover the thing. Hold it. It's like COVID. It's just, it won't go. We don't want it to go away. Please don't make COVID go away. Please always give us something that we can worry about. There's a story in there that talks about, keep an eye on the kids because it's going to be maybe a surge time for little kids with little kid boogers. And
yeah.
You just never know where the thing.
Ruckus been sick like a few times this last couple months.
Have you washing his hands? Are you making him bath all the time?
Hands, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so I saw this thing and it triggered me this morning. I thought, oh my God, why are we still paying attention to any of that stuff? You never know what's going to be happening. Could be the combination of the flu and another kind of a variant. Yeah. Watch your kids. Page 2 in today's PDN. Harsh flu season. Possible COVID uptick ahead. There's always a possible uptick in COVID ahead. Have you ever noticed that? Even as the numbers have been trending lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, I mean, rock bottom. But there is still an opportunity for an uptick ahead. All right, we're going to add that to the load of crap that we're getting.
Whoa, Ray.
Again. No, well, here's the other thing that I just got triggered. I didn't have a chance because fretting about the systems and everything. So I didn't get a chance in the time period where I would normally go through some of the national, international, whatever it is, the stuff that I print out in the morning, and it's multiple pages, and I'll just kind of peruse it while the brakes are on or something like that. And I saw this one here, and I'm sorry, it totally triggered me. It's the triple-demic.
Oh,
they're warning us now about the triple-demic that is coming up down the road, and we all got to be scared, and we all got to 6-foot distance again, and wear masks and hand sanitizer. Did you know that hand sanitizers have a expiration date?
No,
it's a fact. You'd wonder why. It's what's it made out of? Mostly alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Authorities are warning of a triple-demic this year. Be afraid of COVID. Be afraid of the flu, and be afraid. Oh, we gotta add something here we never ever heard before, unless you learned about it in medical school. Respiratory syncytial virus. Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Find Macros.
I've got that.
Do you? Yeah, it's otherwise what we like to refer to as it's just a booger.
It's gas.
It's respiratory syncytial virus. Donna, I'm giving you an assignment in between now and the 7 o'clock news. See if you can Google that respiratory thing and see what exactly it is. Should I start ordering? Should I start planning for my funeral right now? Should I order the suit? Is it go to who's still doing suits in this town? Bix?
Yeah.
Or is it just it'll be a school uniform, but that will be what you get buried in. Right? And what songs we're going to play at my funeral, because I'm now supposed to be worried about this triple-demic that is out there. 10 away from the top of the hour. I just really wish they'd let go and let us move on. Joe Biden says in the news yesterday, democracy is on the ballot. And I'm wondering how much of the certainly voters here and listeners of this radio station are putting something else on the ballot. And the word that I'm looking for is, I don't know, revenge. Revenge for everything that we've had to go through over the last couple of years. I've not yet seen, I think it's in the rest of the printouts that I've got here, a comment from the governor's office on the GDP numbers, which apparently have come out yesterday. I've got the printout of the actual report here, and I'm kind of curious as to what it's going to say. But I think they're going to crow about the fact that the GDP is up by 1.1%. Where's the hoorays? Give me the cheap applause here. 1.1% increase in the GDP. Yay! Of course, that's because it was down by 11% last year, so we've gone up incrementally. But there's some interesting things that they point out in all of this. And I wanted to get to it because I want to say that a lot of that is attributed to an influx of federal money that we've got here. I've got the report, and I'll see if I can find that while the news is playing. And maybe point out a couple of places that we really ought to be anxious about here as we come out of this year and into next year, where there won't necessarily be that incredible amount of money floating around from the federal government. It's just going to be us, whatever we get from construction and military work,
canned goods,
and a handful of you better start stocking up on all that stuff now, and whatever the scatterlings of tourists that we're going to be getting in the next couple of years. Otherwise, that's it, baby. 6:51 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Is that mustache?
Goatee of wisdom.
It is. Oh, that's right. It is the goatee of wisdom right now.
Judge.
I haven't had a chance on this program to say welcome back to His Honor Bob Klitsky. Your Honor, it's great to have you online.
Hey, it's good to be home, Ray.
I'll bet. And thank Auntie Lou very much. Auntie Lou apparently left a gift basket for me here at the radio station that includes chocolate coffee beans. Thank you very much, Auntie Lou. I will enjoy eating these. I didn't know that C's made this, and when I'm done with the tin, I'm going to turn it into a little amateur radio, which there are plans for that you can actually do. And was it you, Bob, that left me a copy of 2,000 Mules?
It was me indeed.
Thank you very much. So this should fill in all of the gaps in my information on just exactly how the Democrats stole the election so that we can look out for it in the midterms, right?
Absolutely.
I was being facetious. You're serious.
I am indeed. You know, there were the phrase, the big lie, keeps emanating from Democrat lips. But the lie is this, that there were no irregularities in the 2020 election, and there were so many irregularities. I'm not going to come forward and say that the Democrats stole the election, but I would certainly alert firefighters that where there's smoke, there very, very well be fire.
Boy, I tell you what, it's been kind of frustrating for the last 2 years, and now there seems to be pre-gaslighting going on. The president came out yesterday and was trying to mansplain or president-splain. Well, here's what's going to happen is you got all these early votes here that have been stockpiled. They don't even count those until after all of the regular polling precinct votes have been counted, and that's why we can have a discrepancy where you can go to sleep at 9 o'clock at night, comfortable with your lead, and then wake up in the morning and have it just decimated. And I go, okay, all right, well, there it is. Not even going to try to hide it. They're basically showing their hand on this. This is what's going to happen. This is why.
And then there were the irregularities in at least a half dozen of the battleground states where state officials did not follow state law with respect to absentee voting, mail-in voting, et cetera, violating Article 1, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution and the concomitant part of Article 2. So my analysis of those things is if you don't follow the law, if the Secretary of State or the Lieutenant Governor or the Election Commission doesn't follow the law, it's not that the election is flawed. It's no election at all. It's like asking the bowling Congress to conduct the election.
I might trust them more. There's a possibility.
They're probably more reliable than some of the state officials.
6:54 in the morning. His Honor, back online. I sent this to you yesterday, and I'm going to put it up on the screen here today. I got this from an employee in the Department of Education who was kind of concerned that it looked and smelled like it might be a violation of the Hatch Act. It says GFT Cope endorses the Democratic team of Lulian Guerrero and Josh Tenorio for governor. It's got his logo or their logo on it. It's also got the phrase "all in" with Lou and Josh and the campaign photograph, the campaign portraits of Lou and Josh at the bottom of this. And I tell you what, from my perch, it sure does look like this is a campaign ad, and no different than printing it out on a pamphlet and dropping it off in somebody's desk in the office.
I would say the same thing, Ray. I went through the so-called Mini Hatch Act again, and the civil restrictions all go to employees. The definitional section talks about a person holding an elective office, etc. So it goes to persons, but the last section in the code, and that chapter 5106, titled Other Restrictions Penalty, says no person, whether or not an employee, shall solicit or receive a contribution or distribute literature for any political purpose in any room or building occupied in a discharge of official duties by any person employed by the executive, legislative, or judicial branch. So
it sounds like it covers a lot of ground.
It does. So if the GFT was using government email to distribute these flyers in the Department of Education, and I've seen that same WhatsApp floating around, and it's clearly, it comes within the ambit of the definition of a political ad. So if it was actually emailed into the schools, I think your analysis is correct. It's no different from waltzing into the school and putting something like that on a teacher's desk.
What is my whistleblower to do here? I mean, my recollection is from countless conversations with you on the matter that the next stop is the Civil Service Commission.
Well, it would be for the other civil type violations. The Civil Service Commission, also known as the Great Dead End, perhaps the Bermuda Triangle of the law. But in this case, 5106 says that any person who violates the section is guilty of a misdemeanor. So this would not be Civil Service Commission. This would be the cops or the Attorney General. And you can imagine how fired up the Attorney General is going to get about this.
Oh, boy, I can almost hear the wheels turning.
Yeah, so so what can happen is someone ought to pull all this stuff together, send it to the chief of police, and send it to the Attorney General and say, please prosecute this violation. Now, of course, for the Republicans to do this close to the election, I suspect that there's a certain degree of gun shyness that would prevent them from doing that, because they're probably thinking, gosh, we already pissed off the teachers. Do we need to piss them off a little bit more?
Yeah.
So, however, there would be nothing to stop someone from doing this after the election. And if it happened after the election, it might have a prophylactic effect on future elections, because we're just not doing a good job on enforcing these prohibitions against government employees getting involved in political activity.
Well, there is that, and a lot of hay was made by Tony Babauta and the Democratic Party of Lou the other day about how Jim Moylan's signs aren't faithful to the rules and regulations of the Federal Election Commission, et cetera. But it should be pointed out that neither are a majority of ads that are out there on the radio, television, and on the sides of the streets that are faithful either to the local Guam code annotated with regard to the disclaimer information, who paid, what's the address, who's the treasurer, all that.
Well, Ray,
and GEC said they wouldn't.
But it's actually the opposite of a disclaimer. It's not someone saying, it's not candidate Smucker Huckowitz saying, I didn't have anything to do with this. That would be a disclaimer. It's actually an attribution. I'm the one that paid for this. It's my ad. But it is notoriously absent on some of the signs, radio ads, TV ads, et cetera.
And so the Guam Election Commission came out clearly, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and said that we're not in a position to enforce these laws. It just leaves me, asking the question, then let's strike it from the books or find a way for the Election Commission or for somebody to be able to enforce it, so that the senators, the soon-to-be lawmakers, et cetera, and our representatives are truly acting with the law. You would suppose that would be a pre-conclusion.
Counsel for the Election Commission, Vince Camacho, said that because of the way the law was a mistake, the Election Commission can no longer enforce the sign regulations. Well, that just misstates what actually happened. Because back in the day before Tommy Morrison changed the law and you could post political signs on public property, you had to pay $100 to the Election Commission for what amounted to a license to do that, and if you didn't take your signs down, you couldn't get your $100 back. That's what he was talking about. But since we no longer allow posting of political signs on public property, there's no need for that statute. As far as private property is concerned, what we're dealing with is a zoning regulation, not a regulation of political speech. And the Department of Public Works isn't in much of a position to enforce a zoning regulation against political activities. So there's a lacuna there. There's a big open space with respect to who, what the rules are and who can enforce it. Because as I see it right now, as far as local politics are concerned, there is no enforcement mechanism.
No, yeah, it's like the abandoned vehicle and littering laws. 7 o'clock in the morning, minute after. We're late for Fox News. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Hugging a kiss to Auntie Lou.
Yeah, I'll call you after the show, Ray.
All right, good. I'll be expecting it. Ray Gibson Show until 10 o'clock this morning. Fox News now.
He handled Gabby Petito and her fiancé Brian Laundrie during a traffic stop more than 2 weeks before Laundrie killed her. The attorney said one of the officers had a history himself of harassment and domestic violence and failed to follow Utah law, which states that police officers have a duty to intervene.
She could have been protected that day. There are laws put in place to protect victims, and those laws were not followed.
Gabby's mother, Nicole Schmidt, says they hope their efforts help other families. The Moab Police Department says this lawsuit claims they should have been able to foresee the future, but that no one could have predicted Gabby's death.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. On Wall Street, another down day. The Dow was dropped 146. America is listening to Fox News.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
The Camacho Ada approach to reviving Guam's economy stands on our 7 pillars of opportunity. Business development is central to our platform. Tony and I are both businessmen who know the role that government should play in encouraging and supporting economic growth. For more information on how we will help our economy rebuild and prosper, please visit CamachoAdaForGuam.com. Taking care of business and opportunity, this will be a new season. I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Ada.
We approve this message.
Synagogues in New Jersey being warned to be on alert and take precautions. The FBI in Newark reporting credible threats, but calling them broad threats, not offering details. One centrist group tells Fox News it's working on a possible unity ticket, pairing a Democrat and Republican for the next presidential election.
The group No Labels began this effort in late 2021 after a lot of pushback from their members thinking that they may be facing a situation in 2024 where the ticket, Democrat and Republican, is not desirable to vast majorities of the American people.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich.
No Labels has insisted they're not actively looking at anyone for this unity ticket. They're also not running a campaign, but there are moderates, names being kicked around. Joe Manchin among them, Republican governor in Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, also Larry Hogan.
Right now, the group is raising money and gathering signatures in an effort to gain ballot access in all 50 states and D.C. A disappointing forecast for the holiday shopping season, though it still predicts growth.
The National Retail Federation, the country's largest retail trade group, expects holiday sales growth will slow to a range of 6 to 8%, compared with last year's 13.5%, as rampant inflation takes a toll on holiday shoppers. The NRF is predicting that sales in November and December will grow to between around $943 to over $960 billion. For the past 10 years, holiday sales have risen on average nearly 5%. However, during the pandemic, Americans ramped up spending, especially online, which produced some outsized sales numbers.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. Ukraine's president just making another appeal for local officials to conserve power. In a video address, he says about 4.5 million Ukrainians, that's more than 10% of the pre-war population, are temporarily without power now because of Russian attacks. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Half a day, I'm Senator Chris Duenas. We've gone from a viral pandemic to a drug epidemic. It is time to stand up the multi-agency unified law enforcement group to stem the flow of drugs and combat crime with force. Maulik is not just another task force, it is a program focused on stopping the distribution of meth and opioids, as well as placing enough police officers patrolling our streets. It is time to make Guam Maulik again.
Re-elect Senator Chris Duenas. The fight continues.
I am Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarte Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Hafa-day, I'm Amanda Shelton. It's been my greatest honor to serve as your senator. We've been able to accomplish so much during this time for our Manumku and our Manhoban, and as we turn the corner of the pandemic, I remain inspired by our island's strength and will continue serving in ways that uplift and empower our people. I humbly ask for one of your votes this election. Siduas Maasi.
Paid for by the committee to elect Amanda Shelton, number 6 Democrat, Johnny Coulter's treasurer.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's Best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's Hafa-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tuman location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Off a day at 7:07. I'm Donna De Jesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. The Civil Service Commission has officially dismissed the termination appeal filed by Port Authority of Guam police officer Frank Co. Nicholas after a settlement agreement was reached in the case. Nicholas was terminated in 2020 while facing criminal sexual conduct allegations. Port management cited pretrial release conditions as the basis for the termination, as Nicholas was ordered to be on house arrest and not possess any firearms. Nicholas would ultimately face 2 sexual assault cases and was acquitted of both. His termination appeal had been put on hold pending the resolution of the criminal cases. The settlement not only gave Nicholas his old job as a port police officer, but it offered to pay him nearly $157,000 in back wages, as well as legal fees amounting to about $40,000 in his adverse action appeal at the CSC. Nicholas has returned to working at the port. And with the holiday season lining up with a particularly harsh flu season and potential resurgence of COVID-19, public health officials are reminding parents to be cautious of their children's health. Officials have already warned that younger children who have been isolated from illness during the previous years of the pandemic may have less robust immune systems. Guam's average number of new COVID cases per day has gone up slightly after remaining below 10 for almost a month. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Bob Leon Guerrero says cases stateside are starting to rise, and Guam typically trails by 3 to 4 weeks. He also adds that it appears that kids who now have to fend off a host of respiratory illnesses this flu season are getting sicker from COVID. Parents are also advised to have their kids vaccinated and stop smoking, especially during the respiratory season. More news after this.
Now at your favorite Burger King locations, the new Ghost Pepper Whopper. Our Ghost Pepper Whopper is made with a quarter-pound flame grilled beef, spicy queso sauce, crispy bacon ghost pepper cheese, crispy jalapenos on a warm orange bun with black sesame seeds. See if you can handle the heat of the new Ghost Pepper Whopper. Make it a meal with french fries or jalapeno bites and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Now available for a limited time only at participating Burger King locations. Tumon Bay, Hagåtña, Mike Venetia Mall, and Airport. You rule.
Construction of the Salvation Army Treatment Center for women facing drug and alcohol problems is expected to be completed in March. This was announced during yesterday's Rotary Club of Guam meeting at the Hyatt Regency. Salvation Army Lighthouse Recovery Center Director Valerie Regis says the facility will house 16 to 20 women. She adds that pregnant women will have top priority and do not get placed on a waiting list. The center will also have a family room for mothers and children to do homework together, along with 2 detoxification beds, 2 ADA compliant beds, group rooms, 2 living rooms, and a kitchen. And a crush of last-minute early voters swarmed the Westin yesterday to cast their ballots before Election Day. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says 575 voters had passed through the early voting center by 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, already making it the second busiest day of early voting for the general election. Pangilinan says the final day of early voting was on track to have the highest turnout, despite her urging voters to come in early and avoid long wait times. As of yesterday afternoon, 7,212 voters chose to cast a ballot early. The 2022 election is the first year of permanent, universal, unexcused early voting for Guam, an effort meant to push more voters to the polls. A test election is scheduled for this Sunday, and Election Day polls open from 7 in the morning to 8 in the evening on Tuesday, November 8. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
Wait.
I know, I was trying to slow down.
I'm doing something.
No, that's why I kind of paused.
I'm working on something.
What are you numbering?
Here.
What are you
ranking?
ranking?
So I told you there was a survey that, one of these online things, and it was all passed around on the social medias, and you're supposed to go and who do I like for governor? Who do I like for the Attorney General's office, Congress? Does this ask about the Attorney General? Hold on a second.
Whose survey is this?
Survey. I don't remember it coming from any particular group. It was just a thing that was out there. I mean, I might be wrong. I just don't recall getting any indication from where at guamsurveys.com is
that what it's called?
Correct.
Okay.
In fact, you can go to guamsurveys.com right now.
Check it out.
Polls, surveys, opinions, Guam election 2022. Now, I'm not saying this is final. These are the results of the guamsurveys.com poll. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. And I will start from the senatorial side. Let me see. They did everything on this. If the 2022 general election were held today, which of the following candidates would you vote for senators of the 37th Guam legislature? Number 1, Therese Terlahi, which feels right. Number 2, Chris Barnett, which feels right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, don't forget me. Make sure you vote for me, eh?
Smoke breaks.
Dole, San Augustina's in there. Number 3. Tina Rose, what does Uncle Bob call her? Tina Rose Munga Barnes. Jess Lujan, the first of the Republican names in there. Amanda Shelton at number 9. Marianne Tyron. Why does that name sound so familiar? Oh, because it's my baby sister at number 7. There's Tom Fisher at number 8. Chris Duenas at number 9. What do those last 3 have in common? All Republicrats. Number 10, Sabina Perez. Number 11 is Joanne Brown, Frank Blas Jr. So there's a couple more Republicans in there. Vince Borja at number 13. William Parkinson. And I didn't have time to mention it yesterday.
Low there, yeah.
Did you see the ad that he was running in the newspaper? I did. It was
with his old man.
With his old man.
Is that the one where he was dressed nicely?
Well, it basically said, "Don't vote for me if you're a crook."
That's an old Parkinson ad.
Oh, I thought that was great. Old Don Parkinson ad. They got and Jose Terlai Pito at number 15, kind of in a tough position. I'm a little bit disappointed. Obviously, I'm happy that Mana's comfortably in the top 10 according to this survey. I only went and voted about 18 million times, but I'm glad to see where she came up in the deal. A little bit disappointed that some of our other Republican friends did not necessarily make the cut, including Sam Mabini Young. I'm hoping there's a part of me. I'm hoping it's right, and there's a part of me that hopes it's wrong. Would you like to hear the outcome of the 2002 Attorney General race?
Oh boy!
Hey, stick around at 7:13. What?
Yeah.
I got to do weather. You said do the weather, so I got to do the weather. All right. Let me see what I can get up on the screen. Here's a radar imagery of Guam and the surrounding area. What is that nonsense coming in from the east? Could be blowing up on a little bit here. You remember how it was nice yesterday afternoon, and then all of a sudden dark clouds descended over the island? Possible could be happening here this morning. We've got partly sunny skies, highs near 86 degrees, but the threat of scattered showers and thunderstorms already this morning. Same thing for tonight, mostly cloudy skies and overnight lows of about 76 degrees. And then tomorrow, partly sunny and mostly cloudy. And by Sunday, hopefully all of this stuff will clear up, and all we're going to be left with is isolated showers under mostly sunny skies, highs near 88 degrees. The heat index is going to feel like 94 today. Sunset tonight's at 5:53. And you're going, wait a second, I'll still be at the office at 5:53. No, you won't. Come on, it's Friday. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know what? Say, I need to go vote. and then just jam. And we'll see where you deal with the repercussions on Monday. There it is, news and weather together on The Point.
Guam Regional Medical City was awarded Advanced Primary Stroke Center certification from the Joint Commission. What does this mean? It means our neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and a team of the finest neurological doctors to treat stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu or to make an appointment, call 671-633-GRMC.
News this hour is brought to you by the friendly and hardworking folks at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, Lolita, and their team of professionals. For all your real estate needs, contact Hoffaday Realty, recently nominated as one of Pika's best real estate companies. Call 671-588-4232 or email hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. Located at 426 Chalon San Antonio, Suite 204, Tumaning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. till 4 p.m.
Love that voice. 7:15, Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and the guys over at Nissan. And they want me to get you to get ready for NGen coming up at the Nissan place. You can go to nissanguam.com right now and sign up for NGen. It's not like you got to have a car or something like that you're going to put in like a car show. It's just an opportunity to get out there and rub shoulders with other Nissan enthusiasts, maybe some of the old Datsun guys as well. Bring the kids because there's a ton of stuff for the kids. There are going to be some opportunities to get yourself into some new clothes. They've got some food vendors that are going to be down there. And if you're into like RC racing and stuff like that, think they're going to be doing that too. Find out every day. Go check out nissanguam.com and the World Wide Web. Register for one of only 250 T-shirts starting right now. Get there today.
Real Talk Radio is back. Welcome to The Point, Guam's FM News Talk Superstation.
7:17, Ray Gibson Show. Am I taking a 20 after break, Real Joe? Do I have another break coming up between now and the extra
today.
point? All right, fine. So let me kill some of this with this. If the 2022 general election were to be held today, which of the following candidates would you vote for Attorney General of Guam? All right, here's I don't have an indication of total votes cast. I suppose I might be able to extrapolate it based on votes that were cast in the gubernatorial debate, but I could not tell you off the top of my head what the confidence level is. I mean, are we in plus or minus 3, plus or minus 5, based on the numbers? It clearly in excess of 1,000, maybe 2,000 people voted. To what degree does that increase the perfection, the confidence level of this poll? Don't know. Don't know. But based on this, I'm looking at it, and it looks like a very slim majority for the Democrats. 7 to 8. 7 Republicans to 8 Democrats. Well, then clearly, then we've got to get Sam Mabini in a position where she can beat Roy Kanata, the Burger King. Actually, the Burger Prince. We'll just call him the Burger Prince. Pito Terlai and William Parkinson, and then maybe we might be able to find a way to get some kind of majority of Republicans in the legislature. But as far as the Attorney General's race is concerned, if the 2022 general election were to be held today, which of the following candidates would you vote for Attorney General of Guam? Levin Camacho with 46%, and Attorney General Doug Moylan at 42%. And then there's a none of the above that accounts for 12 whopping percent here in this particular polls. Very, it's 46 to 42. Might be within the margin of error on this. Might not be. That's the thing. I don't know. And then when we were talking about who's going to Congress, this one looks a little bit more decisive. Based on this poll, it looks like we're sending a Republican to Washington, D.C. Senator Jim Moylan with 53% of the vote, and former Speaker of the Legislature Judy Wonpat with 45% of the vote. Now, I know you're going, okay, Terry, why are you burying the lead? What's going on? What about the gubernatorial race, Gibson? What's happening with that? You might hear from some people. There's this, I think Romeo did it. There's like a 4-minute, 5-minute piece about, I don't know, some weird convolution of the money laundering at GMH thing that's going around. But anyway, they say in that WhatsApp piece that the Democrats are going to win an overwhelming victory over ultra MAGA Felix Camacho and Tony Adam. Well, this indicates that there might be a victory, but it does not suggest overwhelming by any stretch. Governor Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, according to this survey, 50% of the vote.
Ooh.
The former Governor Felix Camacho and Tony Ada have 48% of the vote, with none of the above coming in with 2%.
That's tighter than your pants, Ray.
I know it. I'm thinking margin of error. What is the margin of error going to be on something like this? We might ask McNitch what his thoughts are. GuamSurveys.com. Did you find it, Donna? Did you find the thing I'm looking for?
There's nothing there.
There's no there
job,
there.
Donna.
There's no there there.
They've scrubbed the data. They've scrubbed maybe it's not showing the right party with the right leads, and they're saying get that crap off the internet today. My God, people are trying to figure out who they're going to vote for on Tuesday, and there you are with this thing that does not show a clear and overriding victory for every office for which the Democrats and Democrat interests have a stake. So there's a thought. 20 after 7 o'clock in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. What have we got here? Let's take a quick look at what's happening on the markets. Oh my God, that's ugly. S&P 500 off by 39 points, 37.19. There's red there, red on the NASDAQ. They dropped 181 points. They are the biggest loser among the markets today by percentage. NASDAQ off 181. They closed at 10,342. Dow Jones Industrial Average 32,001. Let me see, that's 146 points in the red for them. FTSE is up by 44, but I don't think I got anything trading in the FTSE exchange. The Nikkei down by 15. That's all right. Hang Seng lost 487 points yesterday, and the Shanghai Index off by 5. What happened out in Hong Kong? Got bloodbath there. DAX loses 126 points. What have we got? I'll get the Bitcoin number for you in a second, but let me see who led down the NASDAQ. Pinduoduo, Booking Holdings, Advanced Micro, Mercado Libre, and Lucid are the top 5. Bottom 5, Cognizant Tech, Fortinet, Qualcomm, Palo Alto Networks, and Match Group. I'll take another look here at some of the commodities. $87.96 is the price for a barrel of West Texas crude right now, still trading under 90. That's a good sign, but vastly, it's modulating anywhere between about $87 and $88 over the last couple of days. Gold at $1,632. That's off by $17 if you are looking at that as some kind of a hedge against potential disaster in a decade of turbulence, as the man said. Going to Japan. 148.23. That's off by about 4 yen from where it was yesterday. So 148.23. Like I said, I'd look at the peso number because it looks like everything is all clear in the Philippines for even unvaccinated travelers. All I need is one of those easy tests and the antigen test, and I should be able to get myself into the Philippines. And still, the idea that maybe a Point Familia get together, as in I'm chartering a plane and you pay this and then we're going to all get out there. I'm going to try to make it inexpensive, but the problem is that means we're not going to be able to eat. You might have to bring your own food on the airplane if you want to. No jackfruit. Just saying right now.
No
just nothing that's got any stink or
no
aroma
dried
on
squid,
it.
please.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I know you're going to say kimchi bowl. Can they just make me some hot? Oh no, and the kimchi bowl is as well. What about the? Can I go to Winchell's and get some clam chowder? No. A little bit too aromatic, if you will, on an airplane. Maybe they need
I'd
to
like
recirculate.
to bring a Tataga on the plane with me, Ray.
And
to share.
7:23 in the morning, and there we go with everything that's going on there. Jerry Roberts in the studio. I don't know if he has already had the opportunity to read up the Bureau of Economic Analysis for the U.S. Department of Commerce's reading on the gross domestic product for Guam in 2020. Well, you missed it.
Not.
You have not. Okay. Well, it's kind of interesting. Last year we lost 11 points. This year we've managed to regain about 1.1 of those points. And can you imagine? They might have a wave for that. There might be some people over at Adelup going out, hey, look, we're turning the economy around here 1% at a time. So here we are, Mr. Roberts. It's the Friday before the general election. How you feeling?
Gosh, how am I feeling? Well, I'm feeling that I blew the early voting.
Really?
I thought it was today. It was yesterday.
No. Yesterday was the last day for that.
That's I know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you heard Maria Pangilinan earlier in the morning. She said,
did not.
and apparently a lot of other people did, because at 575, they said there was a surge. PDN reporting there's people who walked in, saw the line, and Vamoose said, "Forget it, I'll vote on Tuesday."
Yeah, so why? I mean, why would they close it off on Thursday rather than Friday?
Because I think they got they've got to start working on the precinct stuff at some point.
I guess so.
Start.
It's all right.
They got to start pre-filling in all the ballots.
It's all right. And that's the extra point.
Well, I know that you pay as much attention to, maybe more, of what's happening stateside and national politics, and it just seems to me that every day we get closer and closer. And I'll take it. I'll take it because bias confirmation that we talked about. But most of the news sources that I follow, most of the people that I follow on Twitter, even most of the people who I print out stories that might have a little bit of a leaner of bias are saying that the Republicans, the conservatives, are going to get a much larger wave than they even predicted earlier. It just seems to me everything is lining up for the Republicans to take over the House handily, take over the Senate handily, and create a lame duck administration for the next couple of years. Thank God.
I'll wait until I see that.
Yeah, me and you. Why the hesitancy, Mr. Roberts?
Just
wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me put it in front of me, in front of the television show, in front of the camera. What I received from Bob Klitsky this morning. It's a DVD copy of 2,000 Mules. Are you thinking that there might be a smaller version of a conspiracy that we'll talk about on Thursday, working at work in the United States mainland?
Don't know. There's just strange things going on. Strange things happen. Where was it? Brazil? They had the
it's in my blind spot. Tell me what you know about that guy.
I only saw it last night. I saw a story on it that there was some election things going on, and they have thought that possibly that the Biden administration has been meddling handily in their election to get the current guy out.
But Russia, we don't like it when somebody meddles with our elections. How dare we?
Yeah.
And
that's the last pillar of hope, I guess, in South America. All the rest have gone the other way.
Wow. Okay, we'll talk more about that. I think it's going to be an interesting weekend, and I've got the feeling that unfortunately, as much time as I'd like to spend on TikTok and Instagram, I think the majority of my time is going to be spent watching the unfolding stories on Twitterverse.
Yeah, that, and of course the local election is obviously very interesting, and it's as compelling as anything else. You don't think so?
I don't know. Okay, can I tell you the most interesting thing politically that is in my head today, and some of it is that survey, the GuamSurvey.com. I mean, absent any other information and any other polling that we've got, certainly that becomes provocative. But what else is provocative, and I'll put this up on the screen, is it's a double truck ad. You'll find this in which means it's the middle page of the newspapers. You'll find this in the PDN. You'll find this in the Guam Daily Post. It is this sign that says "United We Stand, Camacho Ada 2022." And now I want you, when you open this up in your newspaper, hold off on the Sudoku, hold off on the on your crossword puzzle. What I want you to do here is, in the United We Stand, find the Democrats. Find the Democrats. Like, where's Waldo? Where there are at least 2, possibly 3 Democrats in this picture that says
there's you and me, Ray.
United We Stand.
Behind the Frank Uggan support.
Oh, there's a Frank Uggan guy right there. Oh my God, did you see that? Look, there's Frank Uggan doing his wavy thing, right? And in front of him, almost like he's in his fafas, we've got there's Sabrina Salas Montanani in that. Oh my God, United We Stand, divided we fall, onward Republican soldiers. So that's it, but I think there might be 1 or 2 others in there. I didn't have a chance all morning long to peruse it, but you find that, circle them, and send me your copy at the Me Machine, 797-8255-797-TALK. At 7:28, we got to get Jerry Roberts on for a very special Friday Extra Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
There are words that most people like to hear in association with their name, words such as dependable, responsible, accountable, and reliable. No doubt all those words feel good when we hear them from the boss. Well, today We grab one of those words and see what a whole bunch of folks had to say about it. That's coming next on The Extra Point.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
We like it in every part of our life, things and people we can count on. We look for reliability, and in fact, we count on it. Reliability extends across all races, genders, and generations. So let's dig in. Number one, reliability is the precondition for trust. Wolfgang Schabel, he's a lawyer and politician. Confucius say, a man who lacks reliability is utterly useless. Number three, comes from Gerald Brooks, a pastor. Reliability creates credibility. Does this have anything to do with elections and politics? What do you think? Number four, leaders should be reliable without being predictable. They should be consistent without being anticipated. That's Mike Krzyzewski. He was the Duke basketball coach for umpteen years. Next one comes from unknown sources. Reliability is the quality that leads others to not just believe you, but to believe in you. Number six, your personal brand is a promise to your clients, a promise of quality, consistency, competency, and reliability. Jason Hartman, a marketer. Stonewall Jackson, Confederate officer, said, the patriot volunteer fighting for country and his rights makes the most reliable soldier on earth. That was 1860s, and here we are, 160 years later, and that is a statement that we should look at. Number nine, the most reliable way to predict the future is to create it. President Abraham Lincoln. Anton Pecht, he's an artist, he said, creativity isn't worth a thing if it isn't served with an equal amount of reliability. Otto Krozen, professor of cross-cultural entrepreneurship, said, a reliable person will deliver reliable work. Don't be reliable only when it's convenient. That's also one known, as is this one. Number 13, show up. Be consistent. Do what you say. Give more than you take. Number 14, Deshaun Stokes, a sociologist and a rapper, I think. Number 14, if your actions don't live up to your words, you have nothing to say. I like that. If your actions don't live up to your words, you ain't got nothing to say. Constance Chooks Friday, author. Being desirable is the sum total of being both available and reliable. Available plus reliable equals desirable. Did you follow that? You got that? Number 16, my sources are unreliable, but their information is fascinating. There's social media for you. Ashley Brilliant, artist and writer. 17, definition of statistics. This is okay. The science of producing unreliable facts from reliable figures. Evan Esar, humorist. Last call. Paul Theroux, novelist and travel writer. He said, gain a modest reputation for being unreliable, and you will never be asked to do a thing. There you go. That's the answer, and that's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank. Yeah. I'm Jerry Roberts.
There it is, Jerry Roberts. Thank you very much. And a reminder that if you never, ever want to have to do laundry in the house again, all we need is one episode of Pink Lady Underwear, and that will be it. From now on, you can do your own laundry if you like, but from now on, you're never, ever allowed to touch her stuff, and that takes a significant amount of pressure off of a relationship, if you ask me. Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point. You have a fantastic weekend. Look forward to seeing you on Monday, and maybe by Monday things things will feel a little bit more, urgent about this election.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'm of course, just,
I hope so.
Of course, speculating because you never know what's going to happen. So far, everything is kind of a nothing burger. I got a note from one of the account executives a few minutes ago saying, well, we've got these ads coming in from so-and-so. Can we play them? And I said, well, we have to play them. We cannot tell them that we can't run their stuff unless it violates other parts of the Federal Communications Commission. But they've got a First Amendment right, and we have an obligation to play those ads. And so there could be some ads coming in, and who knows what's going to happen.
Because you predicted that there would something would happen today, Friday, that I think you called it a bombshell.
Tectonic. We'll feel this. Today. Yeah, we're going to feel this. There's already people marching. The North Koreans may send over missiles as a result of this bombshell.
But we're in no danger.
But we're never in any kind of danger. For God's sakes, could you tell us what we're supposed to do if we are in danger? Otherwise, we're going to have to leave this to the prepper groups out there. 7:35. That's Jerry Roberts. About time right now for us to take a look at what's happening in local headlines and news now being brought to you by our friends over at Burger King. Have you tried? You got to try it today. It's the Ghost Pepper Whopper at BK. Spicy queso sauce, ghost pepper cheese, bacon, orange bun, and this is the part. I've never had this before. I've never seen it anywhere before, but now I want this on everything. They've got these crispy jalapenos. They take the jalapeno skins and they slice them fine, and then they put them in the same oil as we put the fries in, and it is oh so good. A crunch in every single bite. Plus, like I said, the great bacon flavor, the Whopper flavor that is in there right now. Great way to get your Friday started. Swing by BK today. News also brought to you by the friendly and hardworking folks at Hoffa Day Realty. The number 588-4232. Again, 588-4232. Now with news and headlines, here's Donna D.
39-year-old Sinensin Saramea has been arrested for fleeing the scene of an East Agana traffic crash earlier this week that sent another man to the hospital and left a car overturned on Marine Corps Drive. Officers reviewed surveillance video from surrounding businesses and went to Saramea's home to interview him, where he admitted that he left the scene because he was scared. He was charged with leaving the scene of an accident with injuries. And fire department units were called to the Barrigada post office yesterday morning following reports of a white powdery substance on the floor. Employees were immediately evacuated from the building while GFD's hazardous materials team tested the substance. The powdery substance was eventually determined to be baking soda. And North Korea launched its latest volley of missiles yesterday, including an intercontinental ballistic missile that forced the Japanese government to issue evacuation alerts. But Guam civil defense officials said the island was not in immediate danger. The community is reminded to remain steadfast in their preparedness for all hazards. The offices of Guam Homeland Security and Civil Defense are monitoring the situation. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
Should I buy like iodine pills or something like that, or am I going to get enough out of the Morton salt?
Salt? Wait, what do you need iodine pills for?
I don't know. I see it in like all kinds of these movies where there's an explosion and they say, "Well, I'm gonna stock up on the iodine." In fact, there's not a documentary, kind of a docudrama on HBO about Chernobyl. And they were talking about having people stock up on the iodine just in case.
Oh man, Ray.
What's
just got
that?
to wear the lead vest that they use in the X-ray places.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. No, and
I've got to look it up.
You've never watched that show, the Chernobyl thing on HBO? Absolutely, yeah. It is an excellent program, and an example of the CYA that you get with in a gigantic but yet communist bureaucracy where it doesn't matter what we have to do, what we have to spend. This is not going to put a black eye on the party. It's not going to put a black eye on the country. Well, hundreds of thousands will die. Oh, okay. I guess hundreds of thousands of people will die, but we're going to tell them that we've got the best and safest nuclear program in the world. Absolutely fascinating. Watch it if for no other reason. There's a couple of characters in there that you will embrace, and if you're kind of a timid manager looking for somebody to give you a little bit of backbone, the guy from the party is the guy to emulate. 7:38 in the Ray Gibson Show. I'll be right back.
Vince Borja epitomizes determination. His family was so poor that he received his first pillow when he joined the Army. Vince went from extreme poverty to obtaining a master's degree, becoming a non-commissioned officer in the Army, working for a Fortune 500 company, and becoming an entrepreneur. Vince even gave up his job as a professor so he could run and serve his people. You cannot teach grit and determination. With Vince Borja, you don't have to. It's in his DNA. So is leadership. Vote Vince Borja for senator. Determination has a name.
My name is Vince Borja, and I approve this message.
Fear has no place in our government or community. Yet Tony and I hear from many who are being intimidated to support the current administration. Put our campaign sign in your yard or lose your job. Tony and I will not threaten or intimidate. This is not what our island is about. These are not the values with which we were raised. It's time to return Guam to our values, to our traditions of honor and respect. It's time for a new season. I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Adams.
We approve this message.
Pacific Points is more rewarding with friends. Get 100 bonus points for every friend you refer that signs up and earns points. Both you and your friends will enjoy awesome perks like discounts on Shell fuel, rebates on your IT&E bills, vouchers at foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. Plus, earn more points to upgrade your membership tier and enjoy even more exclusive rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Hafaday, I'm Amanda Shelton. It's been my greatest honor to serve as your senator. We've been able to accomplish so much during this time for our Manumku and our Manhoban, and as we turn the corner of the pandemic, I remain inspired by our island's strength and will continue serving in ways that uplift and empower our people. I humbly ask for one of your votes this election. Siduas Maasi.
Paid for by the committee to elect Amanda Shelton, number 6 Democrat, Johnny Cool Torres Treasurer.
Okay, got you. 7:40 in the morning, Ray Gibson Show. Time to take a look at what's happening in traffic Friday before the general election. And I'm wondering how much of the intersection traffic that I'm looking at that is running a little bit slower than normal has to do with campaigns, people out there doing their waves. If you get in front of one, or if you're in one of them, do me a favor, 797-8255. Send that to the WhatsApp here so I can put it up on screen. All right, up in Anderson Air Force Base, main gate. There's nobody up there waving. It doesn't look like there's any traffic at all, like they're just letting everybody in. What's that? You want to come by? You want to do some shopping? No problem. All right, groovy. Southbound Marine Corps Drive starting to busy up over by Ipao. Don't see a whole lot of traffic at Isang Song. Let me see here. 1 and 3 running a little bit busy by the intersection. And the major intersections around there are looking like they've got some amount of business going on right now. Not as bad as you would imagine at 741 at the intersection of 810 and 16. Tri-intersection running fairly clear. Looks like the majority of the traffic is going to be from around Untalon Middle School towards the intersection. Then we got regular dogging out traffic. You're used to that on Route 8. How many of you are going the back way, learning the ins and outs of Roy T. Damian with only 2 speed bumps, Magahit? And one of these days, Paco's going to make somebody go down there and put the lines on the road so you know which lane that you're in all the time. Although I got to say, I was feeling kind of odd. I'd actually slowed down to see if this guy was going to be okay. He started coming down the hill, and he started coming into my lane a little bit, and then he corrected and then started looking like he was going off-road. And I thought, this might be one of those things where it might be somebody's like dying in the car at the actual moment that I'm watching. But as it turns out, probably just drunk.
Keaton. The car's Keaton.
Keaton, right. Just one wheel going in one direction, the other in the other. Okay, a little bit of traffic on 4 into the downtown Hagåtña area up around Navy Hospital. Might see some slowdown up there. A Big Navy and Sumai is looking good, and on your way to Santa Rita, going to be okay. A little bit of construction slowdown in that area as well. It's 7:42 already on the Ray Gibson Show.
Hafaday, I'm Frank Bloss Jr. As a senator, I know full well the responsibility of having the weight of your worries on my shoulders. I also accept that I'll have to make decisions that are right but aren't popular. What matters is I do my best for you. This election, I ask for just one of your votes so I can continue to work on what concerns you most. I'm Frank Bloss Jr., number 1 Republican, and I thank you for listening. Paid for by Friends for Frank, Dave Morcilla, Treasurer.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
All too often, governments do too little in some areas, but too much in others. Felix and I want government to provide basic services and stay out of people's lives. Government overreach will not happen during our administration. The Camacho Ada team believes in 3 co-equal branches of government, not having one exert power over the others. For more information on our plans for government services, visit CamachoAdaforGuam.com. This will be a new season.
I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Ada.
We approve this message.
Down, 744 if you're watching on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or ThePOINT.gu. There it is. That's the ad that has been placed as a double truck in both of the newspapers this morning. Felix Camacho and Tony Ada, surrounded, as it were, by a number of Republican and a couple of interesting Democrat faces in there. But I do want to point something out. It's on the screen, not quite in the center of the screen, but if you're looking at it, who have we got in the picture? There's Sandra Reyes Sayao and Dr. Zakimoto Hao Nien, and right under Dr. Hao's chin,
oh yeah,
is Ken Leon Guerrero.
The chinny chin chin
is right under there, and I'm excited to report to you here today that Ken Leon Guerrero has apparently been welcomed into the bosom. And it's a big, wide, soft bosom of the Republican Party.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling the love. But the reason why I called in, I wanted to point out something as I was listening to the news this morning. Remember during the primary and Lou had her poll in action? You couldn't call any government office or get a comment or anything. You know, welcome to revenue tax. Lou's leading in the polls. You know, and
well, you can't get the phone to get answered at revenue tax anyway. I'm not sure if that's saying a whole lot, my bud.
Well, that was a bad example.
Okay.
But the point was that, you know, everything coming out of Adelup, out of any department, and in the media was all about her poll. And we know she's got a poll in the field right now because everybody calls me and tells me, yeah, I got a call from Hawaii, you know, but on this poll, I haven't heard anything. I don't know anybody who's responded to the poll. Hell, I don't even know anybody who's seen that.
Wait, the Guam election, the Guam surveys? Well, there's at least 2,000 people that have, because that's the sum total, 1,078 and 1,035 for the gubernatorial race. And I would imagine it being the very first question to be asked would be the one that would drive the participation on the rest of the surveys. I'm not saying that this is by any stretch the most accurate thing that I'm going to quote today. In fact, I will say the opposite of that, primarily because it was not conducted at random. These are not randomly, selected individuals for this survey that they went out and got 2,000 responses from. Those, they might be 1,000 of them, might be the same guy. Might be the same family. Anytime you have that unlocked open door into your survey, then that obviously is going to change the margin of error or your level of confidence. Had this been a survey that I was conducting, had this been a survey that Dr. McNinch was conducting, I think it would have been a little bit more by way of accurate. My system of when I do call-outs is I will take every known prefix that a phone rings to, cellular, landlines, military, civilian, and pair them up with the number of randomly selected 4-digit numbers in the suffix. So that means that I've got fairly broad shot, but I'm the one that's controlling who gets contacted in that random manner. But if we wanted to apply, if we want to say that this survey used techniques like that, then it has a 2.2% margin of error, which means that it is a statistical tie between Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and former Governor Felix Camacho.
Well, first of all, remember when the Democrat Party wanted to go closed primary, and Maria pointed out there's only about 2,000 registered Democrats, and we've only got 2,000 on this survey. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying anybody can probably draw the dot.
Well, I'm not going to waste my time using these numbers to bet on anything. That's one side. Yeah. That's one half of Ray Gibson's face. The other half is I'm not terribly disappointed with the outcome here for the congressional race, and not terribly concerned about the outcome in the legislative race. I think there's a lot of room, if there's any credence to any of this, there's a lot of room there for the Republicans to work their tails off over the next couple of days, and with ads like the United ad that they're running right now, and with a whole hell of a lot of door knocking and handshaking and baby kissing, there's an opportunity for them to regain a majority. Oh my God, a miracle, a Republican majority in the legislature.
Well, if we go back to 2016, remember the mood of the public was so strong and so angry that we knocked out 6 incumbents out of a targeted 8 in 2016 election. Well, the mood of the people that I'm talking with now exceeds that. So I think we're going to see some surprises. Not making any predictions here. The only prediction I'm making is that 1.1%. That's the best you can do with $3 billion and 20-30% inflation ravaging our island, and the only thing you can take a victory lap over is you got a 1% increase. You know, you got
no. It's very clear in my mind that this has nothing to do with the government here. Page 2 of this, and if you don't have it, I'll send it to you. Thank you, Lee Weber, for sending me my copy. Gross domestic product for Guam 2021, and again, it's 2021, so obviously some of this is stale dated. However, at the very top of page 2, after they get through a little bit of the narration, is a box that is, and they set off this in a box so that you would see it, and the information therein laid bare clearly. In 2021, the Guam economy was affected by the continued federal government response related to the COVID-19 pandemic. The territorial government and consumer spending were supported by federal payments authorized by the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act of 2020, the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2021, and the American Rescue Plan of 2021. All of that made possible, inclusion and dollars made possible, probably by guys like Mike Nicholas in Washington, D.C. Expenditures funded by these payments are reflected in the GDP estimates. That's not period. There's more. There's a little bit of folding information. However, the full effects of the pandemic can't be quantified in statistics for Guam because the impacts are generally embedded in the data sources used to estimate the components of GDP, and you can figure out what the hell they're trying to say in that one. But it is very, very clear that this 1.1% increase had everything to do with the fact that there was an incredible amount of federal dollars floating around in this town. As the man said in the ads, thank you for the federal dollars. This tiny increase in the GDP, in contrast to the massive drop the year before,
you stole my line. I was going to do the thank you for the federal dollars, but it underscores the point. Our economy has been wounded, and it wasn't wounded by COVID. It was wounded by Adelup. Adelup basically eviscerated the local economy. And they're taking a victory lap over the fact that they got billions of dollars of federal funds. That's not managing the economy. That's not job diversification that they tout in their ads. And when they talk about 400 new small businesses, those are 400 people that lost their jobs, and the only way they could get food for their families is they started selling, food out of their kitchen, or they're selling food on the side of the stands, or they started a bush.
Or they didn't, and they're sleeping in front of the gas station this morning like they were when I went to go get my newspaper. 7:52. I got to let you go. I got a bigger name online too.
Okay, thank you.
I'll see you pretty soon. 888-8255. You know who gets to take a victory lap today? You know who should be able to get a victory lap today, even though she's not even halfway done with the work? Maria Pangilinan from the Election Commission here. I just a quick follow-up on what's going to be happening here and the numbers that came from the Westin yesterday. Good morning, Maria.
Half a day, Ray Gibson.
Hey, so Jerry Roberts a little bit upset. Well, not a little bit upset this morning, but he was kind of miffed because he thought he'd be able to go to the Westin and vote today. And I said, no, it's because you guys are busy. I was lying. I was covering for you, basically. But really, you are busy today, right?
Yes, we are. We have to arrange the 1,300 some ballots that we received yesterday to prepare them to go to the precinct. We're looking at final arrangements for precinct officials. Mm-hmm. We're very, very busy. But, we were following the law in setting up our early voting schedule.
Well, I'm sure you were. So I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. There's something, a conversation that is taking place across election precincts in the nation where there is early voting and absentee voting, if you will, and out of state voting that takes place, and they're talking about a certain sequence now in the counting, saying we will count all of the votes that are cast in the precinct on election day first, and then we will count the number of early votes and the number of absentee votes as we have received them. What is the sequence for Guam votes? How is that going to? What's the timing on that?
We count all the ballots that we received that were sent out to the precinct, including all the absentees, homebound, off-island, and early voters. We count all those together with those ballots that were cast on election day.
So you'll just open the envelopes and they will go in at the same time as the precincts votes are going in?
Correct. So the sequence of the absentee ballots is we send them down to the precinct at 7 o'clock a.m. If there's no voters in front of them, precinct officials will start processing absentee ballots. And so the process of processing absentee ballots involves taking it to the signature roster. They'll call Raymond Gibson. Wait for the poll watcher.
My nephew's off island. FYI.
No, they just wait a few seconds. They just wait a few seconds. And then the precinct official will write absentee on the voter roster. What happens then is they open up the envelope, the affidavit envelope, and the affidavit envelope will be put aside. The ballot envelope, a sealed ballot envelope with Raymond Gibson's ballot, will be cast. They won't open the ballot envelope. It'll be cast into the ballot box together with the ballot envelope to keep the secrecy of that ballot. Of course.
So my point is that it's not going to be one thing then another. It will be rather simultaneous.
No. Correct.
Okay.
So they will be mixed in. Those absentee ballots will be mixed in with the ballots that were cast on election day. Okay, so as we get reports from the Election Commission that night based on the tallies, those tallies will be with all of the universe of ballots that are cast, whether they're cast on election day or whether they're cast in the early voting. That's correct. Okay. All right. Because as I say, some states are saying, no, we're going to count all of the precinct and the election day votes first, and then we'll start opening up all of these dropped off ballots and the mailed in ballots and all of that stuff. So it is possible that there could be a significant change in what's going on with the election. And I'm wondering if the same thing would be happening here in consideration of the fact that already 12.1% of registered voters have voted. They've already hit the polls. Those ballots have been cast, and those names have been checked off by at least 12.1% of the available voter population here on Guam. So that's significant enough to be able to swing a couple of votes if we were counting them separately. Yes, and so the only absentee ballots that will not be counted that night, Ray Gibson, are the absentee ballots that we received on or after Election Day, and homebound voters' ballots that we service on Election Day or maybe even the day before, and then the e-ballots, electronic ballots that were requested by the off-island voters. Those will be counted on 10 work days after the election, which is November 23rd. Right, but I think in the entire record book of elections here on Guam, I don't know that those have made any significant difference in the outcome of any races. Maybe one time for the 15th and 14th law of the legislature.
Right. All right. Well, I tell you, then if it was a long time ago. Maria, you've done an outstanding job for the people of Guam, and we're almost out of this. 4 days when we wake up and we'll start going to the polls. I know it's going to be a busy weekend for you, a busy couple of days. I hope somewhere in there you get some rest.
Ay, si Zeus Masi Gibson.
Oh, you're welcome. I'll be resting for you, just FYI. So about like 12 or 12:15 or something like that. Just know that I'll be on my couch resting for you.
Ay, si Zeus Masi some more.
All right. Keep praying for me and Real Joe and Don. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Yes, she's just absolutely fantastic, and as busy as she is, always has time.
She's the best.
To take a phone call. I think so. But it was funny because she called me. She referred to Raymond Gibson, and I'm like, well, that's my nephew. That's Artie, and I think he's already cast his vote here. 7:59 and change. What do we get to do now? I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'll take a look and see what the commentary is all over the Facebook side here this morning. Sorry, couldn't get the YouTube side on. Do me a favor, like and follow and share, and whatever it is that you're watching or listening on. There's an outbound arrow. Send that out to friends and family all over the place and say this is where the best political gossip on the Friday before the election is going to be right here on 93.3 The Point. Got some small talk in the mixes as well, so stick around. Should be interesting for just about everybody. In the meantime, the radio station, KUSG, Aganya, 93.3. We are The Point. Fox News in about 10 seconds.
I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden in New Mexico today, the first stop at a college, talking up his plan to eliminate student loan debt.
Despite what Republican officials say, we can afford the student loan program. It's because of our historic deficit reduction.
The plan to forgive up to $20,000 in debt for eligible families is now held up in court as several states filed suit over it, though the White House says people can still sign up. Also today, the president taking part in a rally for the Democratic National Committee. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is expected to attend. A judge in New York appointing a monitor to oversee former President Trump's business as part of the state attorney general's ongoing fraud case.
Judge Arthur Engeron says he will appoint a monitor to oversee the Trump organization's business after State Attorney General Letitia James said the company's continuing to engage in fraudulent behavior. James' suit initially said the Trump organization lied about its assets, inflating their values. She told the judge just before she filed her suit that the Trump team started a new company with virtually the same name. This monitor will not only be aware of all holdings and assets, but will be given notice if the company undergoes any restructuring or refinancing. An attorney for the Trump organization said this is about seizing control of a successful company. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The FBI says it's received what it calls credible information about a broad threat to synagogues in New Jersey, urging all synagogues to take all security precautions to protect their community and family. No further details were released. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, has been released from the hospital after he was attacked and beaten with a hammer by a man who broke into their San Francisco home. The suspect, David DePape, is being held without bail on state charges. He also faces federal charges. Wall Street, the Dow lost 146. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, my name is Johnny Kinata. I'm the mayor of Humatak, and I'm supporting Jonathan Savaras.
Half a day. I'm Mayor Robert Hoffman, and I'm honored to be here to address you today in support of Jonathan Savaras and his candidacy for senator.
John Savaras comes from a long line of public servants. His great-grandfather, Vicente Sanagas de Benavente, was our village commissioner and an educator. His grandparents, Joe and Oliva Savaras, worked for the naval government. His mother, our current mayor of Dededo, has been one of the longest serving public servants on Guam, Mayor Melissa Savaras. John comes from a family of servants doing good for the people of Guam. That's why I support John in his candidacy for senator.
Half a day, I am Mayor Melissa Savaras, and I humbly ask for one of your votes for my son Jonathan Savaras for senator. Sizuus Maasi.
I'm John Savaras, and I approve this message.
Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu is set to officially form the country's next government.
Official results from Israel's parliamentary elections this week are now finalized, showing the center-right Likud party of Benjamin Netanyahu winning a plurality of votes and with aligned right-wing parties will have a slim majority of 64 of the body's 120 seats. Caretaker Prime Minister Yair Lapid conceded defeat, and this was Israel's fifth national election in roughly 4 years. Netanyahu is already Israel's longest-serving prime minister, and this will be his third time leading the government. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Israeli forces killed at least 4 Palestinians in separate incidents, including one who had stabbed a police officer in East Jerusalem and 3 others in Israeli raids in the West Bank. Earlier today, the Palestinian Health Ministry said a Palestinian man was killed by Israeli fire in the West Bank. It's predicted that holiday sales will slow from last year's robust pace.
The National Retail Federation, the country's largest retail trade group, expects holiday sales growth will slow to a range of 6 to 8%, compared with last year's 13.5%, as rampant inflation takes a toll on holiday shoppers. The NRF is predicting that sales in November and December will grow to between around $943 to over $960 billion. For the past 10 years, holiday sales have risen on average nearly 5%. However, during the pandemic, Americans ramped up spending, especially online, which produced some outsized sales numbers.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. More changes at Twitter under new boss Elon Musk. He wants to change how it hands out check marks for verified accounts. While the check has sometimes been seen as a status symbol, it's also a way to ensure people and accounts are who they say they are. The plan by Musk isn't clear, though there are concerns about the consequences of having a paid verification system. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
iPhone 14 Pro, all systems pro. Capture incredible detail with a 48-megapixel main camera. Experience iPhone in a whole new way with dynamic island and always-on display. And crash detection, a new safety feature that calls for help when you can't. Now, for a limited time, receive a $200 Visa gift card on us when you sign up for a new line with the purchase of your iPhone 14. Come into GTA today and experience the new iPhone 14 series of phones. It's all systems pro. Terms and conditions may apply. Visit gta.net for more information. GTA, we start with you.
Just like you, Felix and I are outraged at the growing crime rate and lack of justice on Guam. We are outraged at the number of criminals arrested, released, and back on the streets committing more crimes. Along with crime prevention and reduction initiatives, Felix and I will work with lawmakers, law enforcement, and the courts to reduce repeat offenders. Prevention, rehabilitation where possible, and harsh punishments for criminals. It's time for a new season.
I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Ada.
We approve this message.
Your everyday expenses could be earning you savings and rewards with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points at Shell, Foodies Guam, and IT&E. Want free fuel from Shell and free snacks from Foodies Guam? Sign up for Pacific Points. Want to save on your home internet and cell phone bill? Claim bill rebates and free prepaid cards at IT&E. Want to save on travel costs? Convert points to United Mileage Plus miles. Sign up for free at PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Off a day. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan. Throughout this campaign, I've been presenting my plans to reduce inflation, rebuild our tourism industry, and fight the crystal meth and crime problems plaguing our island. Our government can do more to lift the burdens facing our families. If elected, I will be ready on day one to get to work to help make Guam safe again and urgently rebuild our economy. I humbly ask you, please vote Jesse Anderson Lujan, number 7, Republican. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan, and I approve this message.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:07. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. 25-year-old Patrick Stephen Duenas Crisostomo was on pretrial release in connection with an August robbery and retail theft case at the Ipan Mobile Station when he was arrested again for theft. Court documents state that Crisostomo walked into Kmart at 1 o'clock Wednesday morning, shirtless with a towel wrapped around the bottom half of his body. He tried to leave with about $77 worth of clothing he didn't pay for, and when employees tried to stop him, he began threatening them. As the workers waited for police, Crisostomo continued to yell at them in the parking lot. When the patrol vehicle arrived, Crisostomo looked at the officers and said he was the person they were looking for. Officers found a pipe and a baggie with suspected meth when they searched him. He told authorities he was homeless and needed clothing and said the drugs were given to him by an unknown person on the beach. Crisostomo was charged with possession of a Schedule II with a special notice of felony while on felony release, retail theft, and disorderly conduct. Meanwhile, Guam financial institutions have advertised their inactive account listings, giving fair warning that any funds in these accounts will be transferred to the Treasurer of Guam in January. Any unclaimed money in checking or savings accounts will become as cheated funds, which means the government has the right to take ownership of them. Residents should check their accounts and contact their bank to reclaim any funds from inactive accounts before the new year. DOA Director Ed Burns says bank account owners have the ability to file with the Treasurer of Guam to reclaim their funds within 1 year. He adds that the Guam Code Annotated allows two uses for collected as cheated funds. They are either deposited in the Gov Guam General Fund or transferred to the Guam Housing Corporation for its first-time home ownership loan program. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid, go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The Guam Swimming Federation's recent all-island short course swim meet made one thing clear: the Agana pool is greatly needed. The return of the Federation's swim meet brought together teams like the Manhoban Swimming Club, the Navy Typhoons, the Anderson Marlins, and the Tsunamis to compete for the first time in almost 3 years at the Anderson Air Force Base pool. A 5-point plan from the government's pool task force has been in progress for the last 18 months. As the plan has been in progress, Anderson hosted the second swim meet on Saturday, which is part of accomplishing the third point of the plan to obtain access to base pools for GSF swim meets. GSF representative and lead of the task force, Frank Flores, says the Agana pool is needed for these competitions to continue without heavily relying on outside venues, and what this means for the swimmers to utilize freely if they look to pursue the sport into adulthood. And updates about the Salvation Army Thanksgiving meal drive were discussed at yesterday's Rotary Club of Guam meeting at the Hyatt Regency. The drive is an annual event that traditionally feeds about 1,000 homeless and food insecure residents. Program coordinator Lu Hongyi says the meal drive is normally held at the Chamorro Village, but plans were changed this year. About 400 Balutan-style meals will be delivered around the island to homeless shelters and other locations. Each container will have turkey, ham, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce. The Salvation Army is asking for monetary donations to cover the cost of these food items. To learn how to donate, call Lu Hongyi at 486-6522. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
Celebrity birthdays, sir. Gotta do them. Celebrity birthdays. Sorry, got a touch of Biden in my mouth. I didn't know.
There you go,
Well,
yeah.
I was reading a thing about how the Democrats are going to lose big in the statewide elections and things like that. Are you ready for your celebrity birthdays before we get to the weather? Or do you want me to do the weather first? I mean, I can do either Batman or Superman. Name it. Suddenly I can tell you don't care. It's fine. I'll do something else then. Philadelphia Eagles versus Houston, Texas. The Houston Texans games. That's going to take place 10:15 this morning. All right, so here's what you want to do. You want to be waiting at the front door of Sidelines at 10 o'clock this morning, and as soon as they open the door, get in there. It's okay to start drinking at 10, according to everybody I've talked to. I mean, what the hell? It's going to be a long weekend, and there's going to be a ton of political conversation just anyway. Be prepared for it in between all of the kicking and the tackling and all of the things that will happen. Now, just FYI, who's going to be winning? My vote is for the Philadelphia Eagles, who are undefeated so far, 9 weeks in. We got the Houston Texans. They're 1-5 and 1 for the season. Yeah, that's what I said, 1-5 and 1. So it looks like it could be an Eagles game here today. Find out over at the Sidelines. On the weather situation here, partly sunny today with daytime highs of about 86 degrees. In the last hour, I took a look at the weather radar and said, well, it looks like there might be some heading into this direction. And it looks like it might be stalling off a little bit and definitely heading up north towards Rota and Tinian. So maybe we'll get whatever that is, we'll get a little bit of the southern side of all of that. Mostly cloudy and lows around 76 for tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms persist in the forecast most of the day tomorrow, with highs near 87 and northeast winds blowing about 6 to 9 miles an hour all day long. Sunday, it says mostly sunny. What does mostly sunny mean? Mostly sunny means screw everything else. We got a big election coming up on Tuesday, and I want you to be in the proper mindset for it and think about, what Guam really is all about. And in my mind, it's always been you get the family together, you throw everything that you need to have a good time in the back of somebody's pickup truck and drive it to the nearest beach or the nearest beach access and get in there and barbecue. I'm not saying that I don't want you to bring stuff from, fast foods or whatever, but really there's nothing like barbecuing your own meat and shish kebabs and having somebody come in with a pre-made potato salad and maybe some beef, beef and chicken Kelligman. And Spam Kelligman. I don't know what it is, but I've been craving Spam Kelligman over the last couple of days. At any rate, have that going. Give me a call. I'll swing by in my ridiculously short beach shorts. So that's what mostly sunny means to me. The sunrise was at 6:16 today, and we might be able to, depending on what the weather looks like tonight, could sunset at 5:53. That's when it's going down. That means that the drama is going to be taking place earlier and maybe more dramatic skies like the kind that we had the other night and the kind that we had over at the Crown, which is the name of the hotel that my sister's been slaving over the rehabilitation of for the last 17 years. Okay, there it is. That's what the sunset looked like the other night from the Crown, the old Fiesta, the old Daiichi down in Tumon. Absolutely gorgeous. It looks like they've made a significant adjustment to the angle of the dangle on the swimming pool.
Nice,
right, and it's got these little wavy chairs that we get to sit in. And the only thing that I want to know is how much is the beer going to be at that place? Because that looks like a great place to spend the entire rest of the day. And it looks like it's got a touch of an infinity thing, right?
It does.
Where's that?
I just said it's at the Crown.
I wasn't listening.
Again. So we've got, she's one of these, she like plugs into her, like it's, even though I'm in her headphones, she's not like, it's just vibrating, right? But anyway, so that's the Crown, and it looks like they might have a little bit of an infinity pool thing going in the front of it, which means that we might be able to, hang our legs over the thing and ogle at all of the people walking by, because that's a good spot for walking traffic.
People watching.
Are they open already?
No, I don't think so.
Where's the bar?
Stale.
Turn around. The bar's behind you.
I think the question is where's the bars is the question over there. So I don't know. I haven't got my walkthrough yet. Anyway, so there it is. I was supposed to do what? Weather? No, I already did the weather. What? Yeah. Portions of the program brought to you by...
No. We're supposed to hit a break.
Oh, yeah. I'll be right back.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Hafaday, I'm Amanda Shelton. It's been my greatest honor to serve as your senator. We've been able to accomplish so much during this time for our Manumku and our Manhoban, and as we turn the corner of the pandemic, I remain inspired by our island's strength and will continue serving in ways that uplift and empower our people. I humbly ask for one of your votes this election. Siduas Maasi.
Paid for by the committee to elect Amanda Shelton, number 6 Democrat, Johnny Coultor's treasurer.
Attention federal employees and annuitants, GovGuam employees, GCA members, and Take Care members. A free open to the public health fair is every Saturday, November 5th to December 10th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Micronesia Mall. Learn more about Take Care's 2023 health plan offerings, wellness programs, provider network and fitness partner information, and much more. Free health screenings by FHP. Visit TakeCareAsia.com. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Okay, now APL brought to you by the guys over at APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home and Guam Regional Medical City. They are your healthcare partners.
Any speaker, anytime. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I don't know who's doing the writing over at the Attorney General's office, but I'm just falling in love day to day with the arrangements that they're putting together for the for the magistrate reports. I'm not gonna read you the whole thing right now. Just gonna read a key part. When GPD officers exited the patrol vehicle, defendant looked towards the patrol vehicle and said it was him that they were looking for. When the officers requested the defendant to get into a prone position, he pulled down the brown cargo shorts and kicked it to the side as he got into the prone position. When the officers conducted a pat-down search for weapons, the officers observed a large bulge to his front waist pocket area. When the officer asked what the item was, he said it was a pipe. And at which point did you stop listening to that particular magistrate report? More on that a little bit later on. Then there's another guy here in the magistrate report. On or about November 1, officers were dispatched to Bumatsatsu in Dededo. They spoke to Eleanor, who told them that she and her boyfriend, Kellan's son, were arguing early in the day. The defendant punched Philip in the right leg and struck her approximately 10 times in the face with an open hand. The defendant then shouted, "Hey, I only slapped you 5 times, not 10. You stop lying." Officers did note redness to the victim's cheek and the upper leg. Now, this is an interesting story about how people are just kind of misconstrue the reminder. Now, you have the right to remain silent. And this guy apparently didn't know this. And this is going to come down to, I'm probably going to be one of the cases that I get for jury duty. And I'm going to go, after you hear the guy say, "I only slapped you 5 times, not 10. Well, I'd say that there was reasonable cause to support an indictment in this case and return a true bill because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. 8:19, Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. All right, promised that we were going to do celebrity birthdays. Because what the hell, the rest of the morning, and in fact, all the weekend long is probably going to be political gossip. Might as well get it out of my system now. 1 year older today, from MASH, our forever sweetheart, Loretta Swit, also known as Hot Lips Sulahan from MASH, turns 85 years old today. Isn't that sweet? Ralph Macchio, also known as Hot Lips from the Karate Kid movie.
Oh, yeah.
Ralph Macchio is 61 years old. And
no
they're saying,
way.
Yes.
He looks 12, Ray.
Well, here's the thing. He's now older than Pat Morita was when they came out with the original Karate Kid.
Wow.
He's an older man than the old man in the original Karate Kid.
Yeah,
that's what living in Hollywood gets you, apparently. And they just it's funny because Dennis Benzer like finds Karate Kid on the TV by accident, and he's like, "Oh my God, I binged it." He's watched all like 5 seasons in like one weekend, one go.
Poor guy.
The Cobra Kai, yeah. And the good news is they're bringing it back. It will be back for another season. And I got to tell you, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. It's just interesting to see how it has turned into almost another version of repudiation, if you will, of what we thought back in the 1980s about the Karate Kid. As it turns out, the big heroes now are the guys that used to be the bad guys in all of the Ralph Macchio shows, including the dude from Japan, and there's another couple of guys from some of the earlier shows. As it turns out, those guys are now helping out. They're like Team Ralph Macchio now. Sean Combs, also known as Puff Daddy, 53 years old. Favorite Puff Daddy song?
I don't have one, Ray.
Don't have one.
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy. No, he's a Puff, right? Is Puff Daddy?
Yeah, I don't change his name so many times, man.
Right. But he's still alive, right? He hasn't been killed in some kind of rapper gangster shootout.
Yeah, he didn't get into a gangster shootout.
Okay, gotcha. Well, now that Kanye is out of the picture, maybe Puffy can come back. Because I thought his production was good.
Oh my God,
Art
Ray.
Garfunkel is 81 years old. He's the guy that had a receding hairline when he was like 19.
Loved him.
From Simon and Garfunkel. And then you got Sally Field, 76 years old.
Oh, yeah, that's Burt Reynolds' chick.
Sally Field was 76. I mean, wait, I'm 60, so 76 doesn't sound that old. She was Gidget, but she was also the Flying Nun. Huh? She was also the Flying Nun, which was a television program we watched religiously. Seriously, one of the programs here, it had a nun in it. You had to watch. We came from a Catholic house.
She was Forrest Gump's mom, too.
Forrest Gump's mom in the thing. Okay, how about this one? Mission Impossible 2 Star Wars story. Thandie Newton. Thandie Newton is how old is she? 50 years old.
Oh, that's a chick.
I want to say she was
Sandy.
Yeah,
Thandie.
No,
Like Sandy?
That's how Mike Tyson says Sandy.
Somebody with messing. Sandy, I love you. Shut up, Ray. That's so messed up. And one thing to keep in mind for the weekend here at 8:22, daylight savings time ends on Sunday. So for those of you whose lives are ruled by what time it is in most of the flyover states of the United States, then you might need to make a note of it. Daylight savings time is going to be ending here. I've never understood the concept, having been born and raised on Guam. It's just one of those things where I've always been able to find somebody else to handle it. Do we have to make a change in programming on for when we change from forward and springing back? And the answer is probably, and in which case that's Jose's thing, not mine. Used to be Bob's, not anymore. 8:23 on the Ray Gibson Show. What am I supposed to be doing here? I can now return to taking phone calls?
Yes, sir.
Who's on the phone that I want to talk to?
Everyone, sir.
I got Annie on the line, wants to do a birthday greeting. Good morning, Annie. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Ray. Good morning.
How you doing?
Listen to you every morning.
Thank you. You know what? That never gets old, sweetheart. Thanks for saying so. For Real Joe and Jerry Roberts and Donna, thanks very much for remarking about appreciating us. It's labor of love for sure.
Thank you. And thank you, too. May you wish a happy birthday to Mr. Larry Panagitan today?
It's that Annie. Oh my God, this is one of my favorite Annies in the whole wide world. We used to sing with and I used to get the dirtiest jokes from Larry downstairs over at the GCIC building. Oh my God, how you doing, Annie girl?
I'm doing good, and how are you?
Not bad. How many grandkids?
One.
Only one? They're not working hard enough. They're not working hard. Cut off the cable. I was gonna say, I want to say, it occurs to me that Larry and I might. If you've ever owned a Lexus, chances are very, very good Larry was the guy that took care of it when it went in for service. Got you the loan car. He was the guy that said, "Yeah, you're actually out of car wash tickets, but I'll sneak you in." It's that guy that takes care of everybody down there, and a good friend. Oh my gosh, so great to hear from you guys.
Yes, great to hear from you too. But we listen to you every morning. You and Mr. Robert.
All right. You still got a line on Jerry girl. If you do, tell her I say hello.
Yes, I will.
All right, groovy. And her crazy brother Joey. Right? It used to be this massive team that we had together. Basically took over an entire corner of this karaoke bar next to the recruiting centers over at the GCIC building. Oh my God, what great memories.
Pacific Crossings.
Oh my God, Pacific Crossings. Thank God one of us remembers the name. I think I still might have one of those little chits from there. One of those little poker chips.
Oh my God, Ray! That's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago, but I'm gonna see if I can find a way to turn that thing in. Get my Budweiser beer. 8:25 in the morning. Oh my God, so nice to hear from you. I'm getting all warm here, despite I'm getting just a flood of memories. I'll talk to you pretty soon. You give a big hug and a kiss for me, all right?
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Annie. 888-8255-888-TALK. And while we're in nostalgia land, Mark Cruz wanted to call in and talk about Karate Kid. Good morning, Mark.
Okay, first off, Sandy Newton was the hot chick in Mission Impossible 2 in Australia.
Okay, I'm going to look it up. Okay. Because if it's the one that I'm thinking of, she's like super skinny, like skin and bones type, right?
Yeah, and she's I think she's like half black and
oh wow.
And she's the one that had the virus injected
Some racial undertones
into her
here.
body.
Okay, I'm.
I just said half black. I mean, that's what she looks like.
I don't know. People are sensitive about
she
words
looks Filipina.
Exactly.
Hey, yeah, she could be. She could be Filipino.
Well, let's just start telling everybody she is.
Sandy, yeah.
A name like that.
I don't know. How old is she? I don't know. But no. So okay, going back to Karate Kid, when they made Karate Kid 3, the one with where Kreese was supposedly dead, and that guy Terry Silver took over Daniel's training.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel was older in real life. Daniel was older than Terry Silver by a year.
Oh my God!
I think it's like 10 months. Yeah.
In the movie at that time, real time. I mean, we're not
in the movie in real life. When they filmed the movie, Daniel LaRusso was older than the guy that was supposed to be the old guy in the movie.
Isn't that so weird? Just the way, I don't know, our brains try to convince ourselves that some of our childhood heroes, when they were children, will always be children.
Yeah.
So how much time have you spent with the new one? The what is it? What did you say it was Cobra Kai? How much time have you spent with that, Annie?
No, I have not watched it at all.
Oh,
I've heard about it. My kids watch it. I haven't watched it. I heard it was really good. I have, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings, and all the other stuff.
I don't know. I got
religiously watch SEAL Team and Blue Bloods. So, I'm not ready to binge another one.
Okay, I understood. I kind of got into the House of Doggins here for a second. And what was it, the third or fourth episode where they ditched into the must-haves? If we're talking about one of those Game of Thrones type things where we got to have some kind of pedophilia and incest and rape. It didn't take very long to get into that, did it?
Yeah, it didn't, but it wasn't as bad as Game of Thrones. To me, it wasn't.
The Game of Thrones. I mean, they did the whole reveal in the first episode.
Yeah, but the actual sexual part and the violence and everything wasn't as bad as what it was in Game of Thrones.
Right. I just got started
on
again.
multiple occasions.
Yeah, I think I'm on episode 6, which means I'm close to the end of that series.
Yep.
Yep.
And yeah, you'll love the ending, except for the fact that it's going to be a while to see the next one come out.
As it should be giving us something to look forward to. 8:28. Listen, I'm going to let you run. I'll see you soon. Oh, wait a second. I'm missing a great opportunity. Sorry, we did a little small talk here, but I'm missing a great opportunity to hang and talk politics with Tuan. What do you think is going to happen here over the next couple of days? You think there'll be some kind of crazy loop us all in and have us all question our thoughts and previous votes here? What do you think there might be something like that?
That's always a possibility.
Can I tell you what I think is super interesting here this morning?
What do you think?
Okay, so in one of the newspapers, I think it's Mary Camacho Torres, Felix's sister, has an editorial talking about unity. But when I looked at the picture that the Republicans sent out, where they're touting how united everybody is, I know
she's not in it.
She's not in it. Other?
She took the photo, Ray.
She took the picture.
Hey, you might as well say that.
All right. 8:30. Well, if you come up with anything, you know how to find me, all right?
Shoot.
All right, you the man. There's my pro, Mark Cruz, on the phone. 8:30, 888-825-5880-TALK. Man, it's going to be one of those kind of days here. And I'm looking at the last 90 minutes or so of the 90 minutes or so of the show. And I got a couple of places where I want to take it that are interesting to me. But if you've got something interesting, maybe based on some of the things that I'm talking about, or maybe some of the things that you are hearing, because I got to assume that this isn't the only place where you put your ear to the ground. If there's something else that's floating around in some of the other halai, by all means, let me know about it. 988. No, not 988. We canceled that one, right? 888-8255 or 797-8255 if you've got something working on the meme machine. Now, Nate noticed, he says, Ray, you're absolutely right. In this United We Stand ad from the Camacho Ada family, there are at least a couple of Democrats in there, including Frank Uggan, Janae's husband. How good, baby. And Sabrina Salas Matanani, who is in that picture. But it's interesting because how many times do we have to have Eddie Calvo's picture in this thing? We got Eddie Calvo, who's sitting at the grand table next to Felix and next to Joe Ada, and among the running mates and big shots in the Republican Party. And then, wait a second, hold on. Then we have, just in case, maybe it's one of those things.
Because facial hair.
Yes. So there's
I just noticed that.
There's a picture with Eddie with his long hair and his beard, and there might be people going, "Who the hell is that?"
He looks really different when he walked in here with facial hair. I'm like, who's that guy?
Okay, so on the far right of the picture, there's Bistra Mendiola Rusanova, and then we've also got, and then there's Eddie Calvo from back when he was a governor with short hair, no facial hair.
Nice.
He
paid double.
It must
He
have.
paid extra.
And thank
He
you.
looks better with the facial hair.
Thank you, Mary Camacho Torres.
Right?
Thank you, Mary
Looks
Camacho Torres, for taking the picture. It's 8:32. I better stop here. News is coming up next.
A message from KFC's Colonel Sanders.
I spent months searching the world over for the very best Nashville hot chicken recipe. Then I found it in the last place I ever expected. Nashville. KFC's new Nashville hot chicken with a legendary blend of spicy and smoky flavor.
KFC's Nashville Hot is back on Guam for a limited time. Get yours today. It's finger licking good.
Who's better in a crisis? Let's look at the facts. COVID surpassed the Spanish flu of 1918 as the deadliest virus in the world. More than 400 souls lost their lives on Guam. Lou and Josh knew decisive action was the key to save lives. They pulled together doctors and experts, launching one of the best response plans in the nation. Guam's vaccination rate, 98%, better than any state. Pausing large gatherings and mandating masks during the deadliest strains potentially saved 2,500 lives. Emergency powers allowed the quick stand-up of quarantines and access to federal dollars. They built an unemployment program in mere weeks, sending $900 million to those who lost jobs. Another $290 million went to Guam businesses. Now the masks are off and recovery is well underway. When it comes to a crisis, you know you can trust Lou and Josh to keep us moving forward.
This is Governor Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Wow, you're brave. You're brave. You're telling me who you voted for? I'm not gonna say who it is online. My early voting list: Governor Komatsu Ada for the legislature, Therese Terlahi, Chris Barnett, John Savaras, Melissa Mendiola. Melissa Mendiola. Sorry.
Who's that?
Melissa, I'm sorry. Melissa Mendiola is one of my classmates from 7th grade.
7th grade. Still on your mind.
Nick's wife. Montesilva Tyron, Kenley and Guerrero, and one of the pairs is maybe Sabina. What have we got here? That's only 7 people in the legislature to get your vote. For attorney, he picks Levan Camacho. And let me see. So Gutierrez for the Ed Board, and for the Consolidated Commission on Utilities, Sanchez and Unpenko. I'd actually gotten a request from folks to spend some time talking about the race for the Consolidated Commission on Utilities and the Ed Board. There are some that are running that I don't know anything about, and then there's other guys in there that I've been following around and have interviewed in many years in the past. Peter Ada among them, and Peter Ada generally whatever he touches turns into gold. So I'll go ahead and suggest that he might be somebody that you look at. And then we got Maria Gutierrez, who is started off as just like a concerned mom, grandma.
Yeah.
And was able to turn that passion into a steady job on the election commission. Not the election commission, but on the Ed Board. And I'm really, really excited about another opportunity for her. And then the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. Is there anybody that isn't already in that's running? I don't know. I don't know. I honestly haven't been paying attention, which is
Francie, Michael Imtiaco, and
Simon Sanchez. I don't know. I could call up the list here, but it doesn't look like there's all that much of too many changes and the people that you can quote take a chance on in getting into the CCU. Studio time, it's 8:35. Are you ready for our last big look at news and headlines here this morning? All right, here it comes. Donna D's been very, very good this week, being able to scrounge up some news stories. It'll be busier next week. Trust me.
After Tuesday.
Yes, after Tuesday, it'll be a little bit busier. So, Hoffa, what happened?
Prosecutors are offering immunity to Brian Bishop Mendiola. The man, Nicholas Moore, is accused of shooting in Agana Heights over 2 years ago. Prosecutor Sean Brown says Mendiola will still testify in the ongoing trial, but wanted to allow him to speak without the worry of incrimination. Defense attorney Peter Santos says Mendiola is inclined to testify once the agreement is in place. Trial was suspended for the day to allow the offer to be finalized. Due to the schedules of jurors, trial may not resume again until January. And tax refunds totaling over $822,000 were paid by direct deposit or mailed out this week. That comes out to 198 individual tax refunds for tax year 2021 and prior, error-free returns filed on or before October 17. Individual tax refund payments continue to be processed weekly and paid within 2 weeks of filing of error-free returns. And a holiday bazaar with more than 40 local vendors will be hosted by the Navy Exchange Guam this weekend at Top of the Mar in Asan Maina. Kids can enjoy face painting and balloons while their parents browse and shop, and 3 food trucks will be on site. NEX will also have HR representatives to talk to customers about available retail retail and hospitality jobs, and employee benefits. The event will be from 9 to 5 tomorrow and 10 to 4 on Sunday. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Well, okay. So what are you going to do with your weekend? You getting anybody married? Are you singing at any weddings?
I am. Yeah, I have weddings.
No, that you're officiating?
Not officiating.
Oh, but you are going to be doing the singing and,
Yeah.
and guitar playing and all of that.
I don't play guitar.
Well, the keyboard, whatever.
Yeah,
this is some kind of musical instrument is going to get played in one of these. I got that. All right. Well, try to have a couple more adventures from there, but stay out of the magistrate reports, all right? And if they do, don't admit anything until after the guys read you the Miranda. 8:37 on the Ray Gibson Show. And a picture I want to put up on the screen just real quick before we get into the break and everything. My friend Chris sent me this picture, and it's a gorgeous shot. Southbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive. Now, this was probably taken very early this morning, maybe 6:40, 6:45. Just thought I'd put it up on the screen because that's what it's supposed to look like. Can I just bitch about something real quick?
Sure, man.
All right, so
it's Friday.
It's so on Thursdays when I leave here for jury duty, I will normally, because you never know what's going to be happening with traffic. I'll normally go down into Tumon, take that turn by the hotel, and make my way towards the Archbishop Circle, go down that way, and then make the right-hand turn in front of St. Anthony's School, and then make that left over at Payless.
All good moves.
All good moves, and keeps me off of Marine Corps Drive. Well, yesterday I was pondering. I was thinking, it's just now 8. How much of a traffic issue? What kind of traffic issues could there be at like 8:15?
No lane closures.
I'm taking Marine Corps Drive. So I'm going to do right there. Southbound Marine Corps. I'll get into a gang like a bullet. I might even actually have some time to go to Toddy's and buy some food for my fellow members of Jury Pool J. Yeah. And I get down there and just past the airport, the EPOW Road intersection, all of a sudden, why is everybody slowing down? What's going on here? What is this? And there's a whole gaggle of guys that closed off a section of Marine Corps Drive southbound, the lane that I was going on, and they're doing bush cutting. Must have been 20 guys out there and 100 one of these witches had cones that were doing bush cutting on Marine Corps Drive a minute after drive time.
Perfect
right?
timing.
Oh, yeah. And just go, do it at night.
Yeah, when the rest of the meth users are
and they're going to say, but you can't see it at night. Oh my God, yes you can. Yes, you can see it at night. There's a thing you can buy them at Home Depot. They're headlamps. You put them on your head and you can see where you're going. I just don't understand this. And why did it have to be at 8 o'clock? Since when do we start on time? Since when do we in the government of Guam start anything on time is the question I've got for you. So now, God, I'm glad I got that off my chest. Studio time, 8:40. I'll be right back.
Vince Borja epitomizes determination. His family was so poor that he received his first pillow when he joined the Army. Vince went from extreme poverty to obtaining a master's degree, becoming a non-commissioned officer in the Army, working for a Fortune 500 company, and becoming an entrepreneur. Vince even gave up his job as a professor so he could run and serve his people. You cannot teach grit and determination. With Vince Borja, you don't have to. It's in his DNA. So is leadership. Vote Vince Borja for senator. Determination has a name.
My name is Vince Borja, and I approve this message.
Hafaday, I'm Frank Blas Jr. As a senator, I know full well the responsibility of having the weight of your worries on my shoulders. I also accept that I'll have to make decisions that are right but aren't popular. What matters is I do my best for you. This election, I ask for just one of your votes so I can continue to work on what concerns you most. I'm Frank Blas Jr., #1 Republican, and I thank you for listening. Paid for by Friends for Frank, Dave Morcilla, Treasurer.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry. Did I throw you off?
Yeah.
I'm moving fast because we've got so much ahead of us here in the program, portions of the program. In fact, brought to you by the guys over at NutriWays. Long, healthy life. That's what they wish for you. And you can make that wish come true by becoming one of their customers. Oh, well, there's a thought. What can I buy there? A water purification system, the air purification system, some great advice on how you might be able to recreate the systems in your house to help give you that long and healthier life. Interested? Call 864-7867 or visit them on the second floor of the Daily Plaza. That's up in Day-to-Do. interesting. I'm just now getting a message from you on another spot block that you added. Well, how
Oh,
about
nice.
that?
That's old, huh?
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Everything was delayed yesterday, but after without getting too technical, a plug-pull reboot that we've done, I think everything is back to being about on time. 8:42 on the Ray Gibson Show in real time here, and still quite a lot to talk about. The very last Friday before the general election of 2022. Who'd have thought that we'd make it this far? And you know what else that I'm keeping track of here this morning? I think maybe while the Fox News is playing, and before we get into anything else, might go and take a look at the communications and see what they've got via communications from the governor's office to the legislature with regard to an extension of the public health emergency. I think it's tomorrow. I think the public health emergency, unless anything else happens, will expire tomorrow. So I'm wondering if the guys over at the governor's office are just going to let it lapse and end the public health emergency after, 38, 50, 100 months? Or are they going to wait until it's Saturday?
They're going to end it. Right?
They'll and then renew the public health emergency after I'm off the air, after Bob's off the air, after most of the media has gone into weekend skeleton crew mode. Is that what's going to happen? So nobody's got all day to complain about it in the social medias and whatever. For heaven's sakes, don't do anything that might affect the vote. That's the important thing. 8:44 on the Ray Gibson Show. Speaking of votes, let me see here. I got the Pete right in on line 2. Buenos Zen Day, Your Honor. How are you?
Half a day, Ray. I called to talk about the bill that's being discussed right now as we speak regarding changing up the retirement plans and benefits for law enforcement.
Okay, go ahead. What's your take on that? Having not served in law enforcement before, I think that's kind of between them and their employers. What are your thoughts?
Well, we used to have, under the old plan, a system or a program that used to mirror the rest of the country. And so when they went to the new plan, that all went away, and it took away a lot of the great benefits for law enforcement on Guam. Mm-hmm. So this is an attempt to restore it. And so I have 3 points that need to be considered, or that when I think about it. One is, fairness and equity to our law enforcement on Guam as compared to the rest of the nation. Second is, what effect it's going to have with recruitment and retention. And then lastly, and I think probably the most important, is what is it going to cost the government, right? Because I'm a fiscal.
Okay, wait. You said, what is it going to cost the government? It doesn't cost the government anything. What's it going to cost the taxpayers?
Or the taxpayers, yeah.
Okay.
0.14% of 1%. So it's a no-brainer, right? If you're going to be able to provide fairness and equity to law enforcement, if you're going to be able to increase recruitment and retention, and it's going to cost 0.14 of 1%, then that's an absolute no-brainer.
Sounds like a bargain.
So it's actually, if they don't approve something like this, that's actually, I don't know, maybe a decision that
careful. Are we echoing a sentiment that you made the other day? If they don't follow through with the intent of this measure here, they're treading dangerously on yet another example of how the second and first branch of the governments don't appreciate the contributions of law enforcement.
No, I'm saying it's going to be it's just going to demonstrate a boneheaded decision, and it's going to be similar.
So not as pointed as the way I'm putting it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just gonna it's an opportunity miss, and I think it's the same kind of maybe decision-making process that Levin makes or uses.
So the point that Jose Martinez is making online here is, wow, it looks like another piece of pandering legislation miraculously being offered now ahead of the general election.
Well, this was a study that was done by the retirement fund because, after the new plan came into effect, of course, that disgruntled a lot of law enforcement, actually the entire law enforcement on Guam, because they had, like I said, something that was similar to the rest of the nation, right? And even our military, because I got my 20-year letter from the military saying, hey, you've completed your 20 years of service, you're good to go. thank you very much. But when the new plan came out, so everybody had to wait until they were great-great-grandparents to retire.
Right. I see the point. Although I am scared, my initial reaction when I read that story was, okay, so how is this going to help us retain these guys? Because if they can get, then some of these guys might actually get, and see if there's opportunities that they can get into federal sources, maybe full-blown retirement and just not go back to work. And we already have problems with numbers of people in the law enforcement community.
So like I said, it brings the local law enforcement into something similar that the federal government and other states offer, and so that would be and quite frankly, a lot of people that I've spoken to, a lot of my law enforcement brethren, have indicated that they left, they took the early retirement and whatnot because it just wasn't worth it anymore. They worked for so many years, and then it got switched on them, and then now they were looking forward to retiring after 20 years, and then now it looks like they have to work another 20. So that really was huge problem, and I believe caused a lot of people to leave.
What was the genesis of the change from one plan to the other?
Remember, it was just costing us too much. They should have done a carve-out for law enforcement, but they didn't.
Yes, I can imagine that was the case. Unfortunately, when everybody switched over to the new system and then fighting over the hybrid system over all of these years, it might be one of these things where as people retire, they might not actually have enough money to retire on.
Right. And like I said, they should have done a carve-out for law enforcement, and this attempts to go back and do that. And so that's why I said this is a no-brainer. This is something that should be supported.
Tricky. If you do a carve-out here, there might be other groups asking for carve-outs.
Yeah. We're an island of carvers.
Absolutely, yes. Wood carvers, budget retirement carvers. 8:49 in the morning. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you out there doing your waves and pushing for the possibility of a write-in victory.
Thank you, Ray.
Before I could ask anybody else this question, but just real quick here. I note in the surveys.com that came out, they're saying that Levin Camacho will get 46% of the vote. Former Attorney General Doug Moylan will only get 42% of the vote. Is this one of those cases where don't we need a majority, 50% plus one, or will a simple plurality in this race trigger the victory?
The AD's votes is a plurality. It's just whoever gets the most votes. That was something else that Ron McNinch got wrong.
He's on line one. I'm going to go to him after I talk with Charlie Hermosa.
All right. Thanks, Ray. And those polls, they're all Potaki.
Oh, I agree. I agree. There's the only thing that I like about this is it says that Jimmy Moylan's going to D.C. We're inside the margin of error on the gubernatorial race, and Monticello retiring.
I'm looking at Jimmy right now.
Yeah. Oh, wave at him. Tell him I say hi. And my sister comes in at number 7. So those are the things that I do like about it. All right. I'll talk to you later. You have a great day. Non-political conversation in a sec.
Half a day. I'm Senator Chris Dueñas. We've gone from a viral pandemic to a drug epidemic. It is time to stand up the multi-agency unified law enforcement group to stem the flow of drugs and combat crime with force. Maulik is not just another task force, it is a program focused on stopping the distribution of meth and opioids, as well as placing enough police officers patrolling our streets. It is time to make Guam Maulik again.
Re-elect Senator Chris Dueñas. The fight continues.
I am Chris Dueñas, and I approve this message.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
The Camacho Ada approach to reviving Guam's economy stands on our 7 pillars of opportunity. Business development is central to our platform. Tony and I are both businessmen who know the role that government should play in encouraging and supporting economic growth. For more information on how we will help our economy rebuild and prosper, please visit CamachoAdaforGuam.com. Taking care of business and opportunity, this will be a new season. I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Ada.
We approve this message.
Oh, dude, I just got the craziest video. I don't know what the audio is going to sound like, but I'll run the video here in a second. And it looks like this looks like it might be around the homeless camp by Micronesia Mall.
Oh,
looks like it might be there. Is a point that I'm going to make. So I'm not 1,000% sure, but like I said, never mind the audio. We'll do a play-by-play here in just a second. My buddy Charlie Hermosa from Bella Wings. I did want to take an opportunity to congratulate you and Perla and Bella and everybody on your staff. Understand that they've awarded you a Made on Guam seal.
Good morning, Ray. Yes, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Super proud. Thank you so much, Ray. I mean, we're still letting everything sink in, but part of the process, right? Part of what we've been trying to, continue to push forward and the commitment we made when we went on when we started this whole journey about creating something here on Guam. So we're definitely, we took a huge step forward. So we're really super, super proud and on the team and everything that they were able to get done.
Well, and you're already starting to work. I mean, I think of Bella Wings sometimes, and I think of an interesting business model and product delivery model that you and I have talked about many times. But it seems to me that among the other things that you are being able to do is to scale other capabilities of these drones and UAV flyers that we've got over Guam to conduct certain amount of surveillance and surveying. I didn't understand the nature of a photograph or a graphic that you guys posted up on the screen. It looked like kind of a 3D rendering of a portion of the island that was drawn with a drone. Tell me about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's one of the programs that we rolled out when we opened up the Flight Lab. So one of the things that we're trying to promote is sort of, again, that metaverse 3D environment. We're definitely going to move there. I've said, I've made the statement, that within probably the next 3 or 4 years, the cell phone itself is going to be obsolete. So 3D rendering for us is a world that we're more moving into. So one of the things that we're showcasing is that, instead of having folks climb up the ladders, go up the towers, we can 3D model the structures, and we can put you in that virtual world. Come into the office, you put in the virtual headsets, we dong the models, and you can actually walk it, inspect it as you were actually physically there. So you teleport into the tower, you inspect it, you can look at serial numbers. It's down to less than a centimeter of error.
Amazing.
And we can actually probably get it closer. So that's one of the things that we're trying to promote on the construction side is, safety and the utilization of drones in sort of what we've been seeing in everyday life.
So, and one of the things that I'm kind of excited in, being a hiker, I'm an outdoorsman, for heaven's sakes, Charlie. I'd kind of like the idea of being able to get kind of a 3D map of where I'm going and peel away the layers of vegetation and maybe be able to see areas where there's a well-worn path or places where I might be able to avoid a ravine entry into a river, if you will. I mean, can we do that with the tech that you've got now?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So with the LiDAR technology, that will allow you to be able to, we can show you some of the files, and that's exactly what some of the construction companies are reaching out to us for. So
nice.
When they're developing the initial plans,
well, the real estate guys too ought to be reaching out to you for that as well. So they'd be able to just hover over a piece of property and be able to see what work is going to need to get done, and in terms of leveling it off or maybe taking advantage of differences in the area. So that the living room is going to be sunken. Okay, let's do that. It's not 1967 anymore, but I'm going to bring that back. That concept is coming back. 650, 856, and more. Charlie, I wish I had more time, but here we are. It's the last Friday before the election, and I got Ron McNitch on line one, so I'm going to let you go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
Okay.
I'll always have your six, bro. 8:56 in the morning, 888-8255. Dr. Ron McNitch with a couple of minutes here before 9 o'clock. What you thinking about, Ron?
Hey, happy day, Ray. Happy day, Guam. Yeah, it's a long weekend coming up on the Tuesday election.
What do we think is going to change? What do we think is going to emanate? I keep waiting for that one big bombshell to drop into the social media and show just how bad things were, how good things are going to be. I don't know what it's going to be, or maybe some kind of great controversy that has been hidden from the public all of this time. I keep waiting for that, and hasn't happened yet. But then it's only 2 minutes to 9.
I have not heard of anything like kind of sort of what you're mentioning, but it can always happen. But I haven't seen or heard anything related to it.
Well, I don't know. Guam Blog dropped something the other day, but I thought it was a little bit confused and a little bit too long, Romy. But I do appreciate the artwork, and I do appreciate the number of fonts that you used to try to make a point there, and that the point was that GMH money laundering thing that had gone out from a variety of questionable sources had been picked up, thereby exemplifying and amplifying just who's really dirty, if you will.
Who had sent that?
I don't know. I'll send you a copy of it. I don't know that it's going to make much of a difference here. A couple of minutes away from the top of the hour. There is surveys. GuamSurveys.com has finally issued their results of a survey. A couple of thousand people that ended on October the 31st. And if my calculations are correct, I even used an online calculator to verify it. If my calculations are correct, we've got a statistical dead heat in the gubernatorial race. 50 for Lieutenant Governor, Lou and Josh. 48% for Felix and Tony, and given the looking for a 95% margin of error, comfort zone, it looks like this could mean a statistical dead heat at this point.
Well, good luck to all candidates, and people should vote for whoever they want to win the race.
Just inspiring words, Ron. Inspiring words. Very carefully, it might get a hint of controversy over you. You guys at the university have not conducted any research, have you?
Yeah, I've got a lot. We'll share after the election's over.
Well, then it won't be fun to talk about after the election is over. Hell with that. Don't bother sending it to me if I got to wait until after the election.
No. I just don't want to announce it until after the election's over.
Yeah, well, that's my point.
All the other noise going on.
That's kind of the point I'm looking at. Will you be able to, or has the early voting just kind of mooted the process here? Will you guys be out there conducting any polling on election day? Are you going to be doing any exit surveys?
We're supposed to meet later today, and then we generally have a weekend poll that we do, just to we might be doing a ballot poll at the malls at the weekend. We'll see how things go. Right. I'm going to talk to the students about it. But
no, the students I want you to talk about are the ones that got screwed by the administration on the debate. See what they've got. See what their results look like.
Well, I think that in general we're going to have an interesting race on Tuesday, and it's always fun.
Oh, my God, this is a nothing burger phone call. Ron, I got to run. I'll talk to you later. You have a great weekend.
Hey, have a good day, man.
Bye. Here's Fox.
To go, and until the most important elections in our lifetime. And that's not hyperbole. It's going to shape what the next two generations look like. Not a joke.
The president says this is a choice from what he calls between two vastly different visions of America. Earlier, the president discussed his plan to provide student debt relief for eligible Americans.
President Biden says in these inflationary times, up to $20,000 in relief from student loans can be a game changer for families.
Life-changing for their families and for them.
The president says the Department of Education is days away from forgiving student loans for millions, but he is aware of the GOP naysayers.
Doing everything they can, including taking us to court to deny the relief.
Even as the president says some Republicans have availed themselves of it. Right now, an appeals court has put the program on hold, but people can still sign up. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Federal prosecutors have rested their case against members of a right-wing group charged for their role in last year's Capitol riot.
Stuart Rhodes, the founder of the Oath Keepers, and 4 other associates are charged with seditious conspiracy, a rarely used charge accusing members of the group of trying to keep former President Trump in office. Federal prosecutors have spent weeks presenting evidence, including a stash of weapons in a Virginia hotel room and text messages and other communications about the potential use of violence on January 6th.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi out with a statement after her husband Paul was released from the hospital, thanking people for their support and prayers. Paul Pelosi was attacked by a man who broke into their home last week. America is listening to Fox News.
Come on down to Chili's and create your own dynamic duo starting at $29.99. Choose any two of your favorites from these delicious options. Margarita grilled chicken, country fried chicken crispers, 6-ounce sirloin, savory acho salmon, or Cajun shrimp. For a few bucks more, upgrade to premium entrees, such as the 10-ounce sirloin or ribeye cooked to your liking. Or go big with our famous half-rack baby back ribs. Your dynamic duo creation comes with loaded mashed potatoes. At Chili's, more life and great value happen here. Located on the second floor, Tumon Sands Plaza.
Hafa-day, I'm Amanda Shelton. It's been my greatest honor to serve as your senator. We've been able to accomplish so much during this time for our Manumku and our Manhoban, and as we turn the corner of the pandemic, I remain inspired by our island's strength and will continue serving in ways that uplift and empower our people. I humbly ask for one of your votes this election. Seduas Maasi.
Paid for by the committee to elect Amanda Shelton, number 6 Democrat, Johnny Coulter as treasurer.
Former President Trump reaching a settlement with people who protested his campaign.
Several protesters accusing former President Donald Trump's security team of assaulting them outside of Trump Tower in 2015 have reached an agreement with the former president's legal team. A joint statement signed by both sides says all people have a right to peaceful protest on public sidewalks. Trump's lawyer says they're happy to put the case to rest, along with an attorney for the protesters who also says they're proud of the settlement. The alleged incident happened when the former president was a candidate running for office. The protesters were speaking out about comments then-candidate Trump made about those crossing the border. President Trump, his company, campaign, and security guards were named in the suit. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Last month, Massachusetts officials identified a woman they nicknamed the Lady of the Dunes who was killed on Cape Cod in 1974. Now they want to know more about a man that she may have married.
Ruth Marie Terry, the Lady of the Dunes, was believed to have married Guy Rockwell Muldovin just months before her body was found mutilated on the beach. Muldovin had been a suspect in the deaths of a previous wife and stepdaughter in Seattle back in 1960. He died in 2002. Terry, whose skull was crushed and her hands cut off so she couldn't be identified via fingerprints, was finally ID'd after nearly 50 years using investigative genealogy. Now law enforcement wants to formally identify and name her killer. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Amazon pausing hiring for its corporate workforce. A memo posted on the company's website says the company will continue to monitor what we're seeing in the economy and the business to adjust as we think makes sense. In the past few weeks, Amazon had paused hiring for the corporate side of its retail division and some of its other businesses. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Vince Borja epitomizes determination. His family was so poor that he received his first pillow when he joined the Army. Vince went from extreme poverty to obtaining a master's degree, becoming a non-commissioned officer in the Army, working for a Fortune 500 company, and becoming an entrepreneur. Vince even gave up his job as a professor so he could run and serve his people. You cannot teach grit and determination. With Vince Borja, you don't have to. It's in his DNA. So is leadership. Vote Vince Borja for senator. Determination has a name.
My name is Vince Borja, and I approve this message.
Across all walks of life, all professions, every societal change, education has been the way forward. As governor, I built 4 new schools and broke ground on a 5th. Tony and I have a plan to modernize and build for the future. This election, vote for the team that has actually done something for education on Guam. For details on our plans for education, visit CamachoAdaforGuam.com. I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Ada.
We approve this message.
Guam Regional Medical City is the center of excellence for general and minimally invasive surgeries like colonoscopy, dialysis and vascular access, gallbladder, skin and soft tissue, gastrointestinal tract, hernia repair, spleen, select liver and pancreas diseases, upper endoscopy, and more. Schedule your appointment with GRMC today by calling 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Hafa-day, I'm Senator Chris Dueñas. We've gone from a viral pandemic to a drug epidemic. It is time to stand up the multi-agency unified law enforcement group to stem the flow of drugs and combat crime with force. MAULIC is not just another task force, it is a program focused on stopping the distribution of meth and opioids, as well as placing enough police officers patrolling our streets. It is time to make Guam MAULIC again.
Re-elect Senator Chris Dueñas. The fight continues.
I am Chris Dueñas, and I approve this message.
Well, isn't that nice? 6 after 9 o'clock in the morning, Ray Gibson Show brought to you by the guys over at APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, also being brought to you by the dudes over at Wendy's. And we were talking the other day about those incredible French toast sticks that they have. Well, these guys just won't stop working to make your mouth happy. At Wendy's, start your morning with the $4 breakfast deal. Oh, my gosh, it's back. Choose between the bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant or sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant and get a small seasoned potato for just $4, featuring fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, or savory sausage. It's hot. It's crispy potatoes. You won't want to put it down. It's got it all, and it's only $4 because behind every great deal at Wendy's is an even greater breakfast. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Dude, it's the craziest video, man. 8 after 9 o'clock in the morning. I had not seen this. And yeah, it looks like it's a bunch of these guys that are squatting over. It's one of the last things that you can see if you're on Marine Corps Drive or Route 16 looking towards the Two Lovers Point area. Most of the rest of it now is behind all of the trees that have grown up. But somebody shot me this video, and it looks like the family that lives in the whatever that you can see got into a little bit of an altercation of one kind or another. Now, Real Joe, I have not heard the audio on this, so we better leave it down for now. But let me get this up on the screen here. You can see what's going on. It looks like the girl is making face with the guy in the black shirt. Who is being aided by somebody else and is now being, as the cops say, taken to ground here. Lady comes up, grabs a stick, bam, cracks it over the guy's back, and it breaks into pieces, and she just starts whacking him. Now, ooh, with the end of the stick, just digging into the guy with the black shirt. Now, there's another dude in there that hasn't done much. He's holding what looks like a skateboard and is about to crack somebody over the back with it. Bam! And it flies out of his hand, and the two guys are rolling around on the ground. Are we done fighting yet? Oh, hell no. No. The lady girl in this, and can you imagine what a great cat she is? Is trying to hold off the guy with the skateboard, and then the video ends where the police called, where ambulance is called. Can we? And this obviously is taken from the intersection. I wonder how many kids saw this. I wonder if there were any tourists in their little cars that might have been driving by the area that saw this bedlam here. And so I don't care who wins the election. But I'm telling you right now that whoever is running, and I don't care what office you're running in, you are responsible for this mess. And you need to take care of it. You need to get out there and get these people, whatever, and drag them to the help. I'm told that many of them, they don't want it. They prefer to live out there like that. Well, I'm sorry, you cannot do that. And we need to take you away from that place and get away from the vision of everybody driving by. It's not like, there's some intersection way up in Jigo. And hell, if I lived in Jigo, I wouldn't want it there either. But somebody has got to do something about this. A mayor's got to get in there. The police have got to get in there. The governor has got to get in there and stop taking everybody's excuses. Oh, it's private property. We can't do anything. Or it's public property. We can't do anything. This is just ridiculous. I cannot imagine what people were saying that didn't pick up their phone and caught the video here of this bedlam, this melee at the intersection of 1 and 16. How embarrassing for Guam. 10 after 9 o'clock in the morning. And the Ray Gibson Show. There's other, before I get to the in-studio guest, and I want to be very kind of annoyed by this. It is a press release, a media statement that came out from the Camacho Ada team, which reads, the Camacho Ada 2022 campaign issues the following statement regarding the statements from the Guam Department of Public Health on the most recent COVID-19 data surveillance report. And it says, based on the latest briefing from DPHSS and political ads, former Governor Felix Camacho and Senator Tony Ada urged Governor Lulian Guerrero to end the public health emergency today. Let's look at the facts. We've all seen overall case data. Stand by, keeps closing, of COVID-19 come down over the past 9 months. 98% of the Guam population have taken the vaccination, taken U.S. Food and Drug Administration's authorized COVID-19 vaccines. Our people have taken the related booster shots. COVID testing and treatments are widely available. Surveillance resources are being maximized both locally and nationally. So again, they're urging the governor to end the public health emergency. Today, I believe, or tomorrow would be the appropriate days to do that. If we go past midnight tonight, my understanding is public health emergency is going to end. And maybe they ought to just let it end in silence here, as opposed to the Camacho Ada guys coming out and say, now that the Camacho Ada guys came out and said end the public health emergency on the eve of its, it would normally have expired anyway. Now that they've come out and said so, that's like me saying, we got to get rid of that god awful butt ugly chain link fence on Marine Corps Drive, right? They probably thinking the same things, but because I said it, never going to happen. And now that Camacho Ada have come out and asked for it, my guess is my friend Leslie over at the governor's office is already drafting it now. 9:12, Ray Gibson Show. Sorry, that amusing and annoying at the same time. Let me get into something a little bit happier. Let me talk with one of my favorite guys in the whole wide world. One of my favorite motorcycle guys, as a matter of fact. We call him Roro around here. Roland Ada from the Guam Hogs. Good morning, bud. How you doing?
Good morning.
Always good. I'm just trying to be as cool as you. Can't happen, man. I don't know if I got the genetics to get it done. Today he's wearing colors. He's got his leathers on. He's got the ball cap. He's got the dark glasses, and a couple of days worth of stubble. So you're who's not in town? Right? Who's not here? Who's not here to tell you to shave? But great to have you here. And the second time this week. Last time you were here Tuesday, we were talking about all of the activities that were taking place around Veterans Day coming up on Friday, the 11/11 at the 11 o'clock. There's a whole lot that's going to be happening. EPAL Beach is going to be going wild. It's the first big get-together down there for Veterans Day in years. So I'm looking forward to hearing and knowing more about it. Dude, I got a shirt just like that. I love it. I wear it all the time. But anyway, so
yeah, we got more shirts. We got the new shirts coming in this week. So hopefully we'll have the shirts out before.
Do we have a tank top version? I got the short sleeve. I got the long sleeve. Did anybody bring out a tank version?
No. You know why? Maybe that's something we can discuss for next year. Maybe.
You know why? Because they're concerned that if I start wearing one of those shirts in tank top, then there'll be too much Ray Gibson side boob showing. And I'm sorry, not around the kids, okay? But anyway, 9/14. Have you added anything to the list of things to do on Veterans Day before we get into anything else?
We got a lot of stuff going on Veterans Day for the Wounded Warriors, right? So, we're going to be doing a poker run that day. We're going to meet up at VFW.
What is a poker run? I mean, I've got enough of a peekaboo brain to read something into that isn't there. But when we start talking about a poker run, what are you talking about?
So with the Guam Hogs, we do a poker run. It's basically we're going to go meet up at VFW at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's going to be breakfast served, and then drinks will be available as well. We'll have drink tickets. The drink tickets are $1 a piece, $2 for all canned beers, and $1 or one ticket for sodas and waters, and then happy hour specials all day.
Okay.
So when we get to VFW, you're going to pick 2 cards. We'll give you we'll shuffle the cards, and you pick a card, and then we write it down. Again, it is $5 a hand or $20 for 5 hands.
Okay.
And so from there, we're going to ride down to EPAL, where we were going to pull another card, but we figured it's going to be so busy down there, it's going to be hard to get the players to come back to...
kind of dulls the solemnity of the event as well.
Yeah, so we decided after that, we'll ride up to Wild Bill's, pull a card from there, and then ride up to Bell's, and then we'll pull another card from there, and then the last card will be pulled down at VFW again, where we're going to have the Veterans Day celebration, where we're going to have food for everybody that comes. We're going to bring we're trying to get the crane to raise a big Garrison U.S. flag.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
So we're trying to get 2 so we can get the Guam flag as well, but we're still working on it.
Okay.
But that's one of the big things. And then so after that, after the poker run, we're gonna it's a 50-50 split. So 50% goes to the winner with the best hand. At the end of the game, we'll sit down and figure out who's got the best hand. Sometimes even the pairs win.
Will there be any opportunities for stare downs and an actual sit around a table?
Oh, no.
No. It's just whoever's got the best hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like I can bluff.
Yeah, I know.
and he knows me. He says you cannot bluff, Ray. Your whole body is a tell.
And after that, we're gonna around 4 o'clock is when we're doing the poker run winner. And then we're gonna at 5 o'clock we're gonna be presenting the checks to the two organizations, the HMI group and the GY671 group.
Awesome.
The checks that we've accumulated for the shirt sales that we sold so far. We purchased 500 shirts, so that's a lot of money for both veteran organizations.
Have you sold them all already?
We still.
How do I get mine?
I got to talk to Uncle Rick. And Uncle Rick, if you're hearing this, Ray Gibson, what size?
I'm wearing an L these days, but yeah.
So yeah, Uncle Rick, if you can reserve a large for Ray, he'd really appreciate it.
Tell me where the PayPal needs to go, and I'll get some money into that. I'll make sure that there's at least a little bit of a Gibson contribution into the kitty.
So it's $35 a shirt. This is the 11th anniversary shirt that I'm wearing. Again, this year it's a new design again, and it's a very, very well done shirt.
I like it because it's a very patriotic shirt. Obviously, the echoes of the military for the veterans that need the help. So that's in there, and I also think it's kind of nice because it's got such a local feel to it. It looks like it's cami made for Guam. It's got the digital camouflage on it. Very, very cool. People, you've seen me in those shirts, and in fact recently, I'm sure you've seen me in them. I like them because they go well with my what do they call them? Seal panties?
Silkies.
Oh, silkies. I'm sorry. I used the wrong words again. But I've got a pair of silkies. You've seen that picture. You remember a couple of years ago?
I framed
we did
it,
that?
Ray. I have a big one in my room.
Silkies hike?
Yeah.
With the
guy, with GY671. Yeah, we went, I ran from Paseo all the way over to Adelup, or not Adelup, but to the Aston Park, and waited for Real Joe to get there, thankfully, and he showed up. With the dude with the Jeep. You remember that guy?
You're faster than me, dude.
The dude with the Jeep. And we got a really good picture of me and him. So that shirt and my silkies, and I ran back, and I walked back, but it was a great time because it was an opportunity to spend a lot of time with veterans family, and veteran supporters. I mean, I was in there with a girl that I said, well, who do you know in the military? She says, well, I was in the military, and that's it. I was a Wanpat graduate. What's the name of the school? The big Army school. West Point. West Point graduate. Yeah. Smart girl. Really like her a lot. At any rate, so...
and then we're going to, at 6 o'clock, we're want to give a big shout-out to Bargain Tactical, who helped donate we helped purchase with Bargain Tactical a shotgun that we're raffling. The VFW is raffling this off.
Okay.
And it's also it's $10 a ticket. You have a chance to win a shotgun with a little knife, that combo together. So that's going to be at 6 o'clock. And then we have a 50-50 again for the auxiliary. Some of that money is going, the 50% is going to the winner, and then the other 50 is going to Reach Across America. For it's a program that the VA here on Guam is doing, where you purchase a wreath and it goes on your veteran's grave. And it's $15 a wreath, and then $5 goes back to the organization that helped purchase it. So if you want, you can go down to the VFW as well, and we can take your order, or meet up with the auxiliary, and they can take the order and then put your then when you on I think it's around Christmas time.
Okay.
When they do the wreath laying, they'll have, you can go down to the cemetery, grab your wreath, and put it on
your loved one's grave. Very, very great programs that you guys are doing, and being a great motorcycle club to boot.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this broadcast and you're going, this is exactly the kind of people I want to hang out with. If you got a motorcycle, it doesn't have to be a Harley, but there'll be jokes. But the guys will be happy to welcome you with open arms. And if you're willing to put in as much work as guys like Roro, et cetera, are willing to do, then that just makes the club that much better.
Yeah. And then we have the Queen of Hearts at 7 o'clock.
Right. Okay.
That, I think right now is
$2,500.
Yeah.
So almost $3,000, as I say, with with the numbers there. So it's a big weekend. Well, it might be over $3,000 by then. Right now,
hopefully.
it's at 2,500 some at the VFW. It is possible if we don't get a winner tonight, then the additional dollars from tonight's purchases could get it very, very close, if not over $3,000. In which case, I will say it's almost $4,000. But we'll have to watch and see what happens. How do people find you if they're just catching the end of this broadcast and going, oh, that sounds interesting, that sounds fun? How do I get involved?
Again, you can reach us at the Guam Hogs Facebook page. That's HAWGS, not HOGS. We're on Facebook. You can reach us by email at guam.hogs@gmail.com.
And, of course, meet up with them at the unofficial the clubhouse over at Wild Bill's.
Yeah, or, you can go over to Wild Bill's.
There's always at least, I think that's written into the bylaws, there has to be at least one manager, one supervisory member that is available, high-ranking member of the Hogs there.
Especially, again, if you guys want to... again, it's open to all riders. Yeah. Again, if you want to show up and do this event... and just be around other fellow veterans and fellow riders as well. You're more than welcome to come. Again, showtime is at 8 o'clock, and rollout is 10:15 from VFW to
up in Chico.
IPA.
Okay, and as usual, safety briefing, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Always mandatory. Safety is number 1, 2, and 3 in these rides, and obviously fun is number 4. But make sure that everybody knows what they're supposed to be up to. Keep yourself safe. Ro, I know you got a big weekend ahead of you because I know that there's yet more planning to be done. You need to come in next week and let me know about it. By all means, I'll be looking for stuff to talk about after the election anyway.
All right.
All right. You know how it is. 9:23, Roro from Hogs on in the studio again. Anything else that you need, reach out to Real Joe. He paid attention to everything that we said. 888-8255 is the number for that. Coming up, we'll talk about an opportunity to taste a new kind of whiskey in this town. And Janae Uggan is in the studio. We'll be in the studio to talk about this. So obviously there's a connection to the endowment and foundations at the University of Guam. I'll find out what those are next.
Half a day. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan. Throughout this campaign, I've been presenting my plans to reduce inflation, rebuild our tourism industry, and fight the crystal meth and crime problems plaguing our island. Our government can do more to lift the burdens facing our families. If elected, I will be ready on day 1 to get to work to help make Guam safe again and urgently rebuild our economy. I humbly ask you, please vote Jesse Anderson Lujan, number 7, Republican. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan, and I approve this message.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Half a day, I'm Frank Bloss Jr. As a senator, I know full well the responsibility of having the weight of your worries on my shoulders. I also accept that I'll have to make decisions that are right but aren't popular. What matters is I do my best for you. This election, I ask for just one of your votes so I can continue to work on what concerns you most. I'm Frank Bloss Jr., number 1 Republican, and I thank you for listening. Paid for by Friends for Frank, Dave Morcilla, Treasurer.
Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at Subway. Still want you to try the new Baja chicken and bacon, loaded with hand-pulled rotisserie-style chicken, hickory smoked bacon, pepper jack cheese, and drizzled with the Subway's Baja Chipotle sauce. That's the sound of the drizzling. Can't miss it. Your choice of hand-sliced veggies and fresh baked bread. At Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh. Dude, fight video, bro. Man, that was awesome.
Bum fights, Reed. It's called bum fights.
Is it? Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Do I really want to rant on this again? No, I'm going to play it again because it just irks me that this video taken in front of at the intersection of 1 and 16, and we got some guy. I don't even know when this was taken. Looks like it might have been sprinkling a little bit on the car, and these guys just going at it. And wait a second, not content to let them fight and kill each other. Let me get into it. So there's the lady, and you.
Yeah, she hit both of them, dude. Her swinging's bad.
Yeah. And
Her aim's terrible.
So I'm just going, you know, we had an assault, obviously, that was working into something else. And then you got the dude with the, here it comes, bam, over the back with a skateboard. Unbelievable. You know, they're going to be there next week. They're going to be there the week after that, guaranteed. Are the police going to go out there and pick anybody up for this? I don't know. Do we really want to bother arresting the same people all over again? No, let's wait until they kill each other. You want to do that? Let's wait until they kill each other, and then maybe something will happen to clear that place out from you know, kind of a den of inequity that it seems to be turning into. 927 on the Ray Gibson Show. 888-825-5880-TALK. My name is Ray. Good to have you on, and good to have Janae in the studio. Let's go ahead and adjust this here so we can get you on the screen. So, how long have you been married to Frank Hogan? Oh man! Oh, that was so funny. I remember reading it, going, "That's not right. There's something wrong here." And so Janae is married to Kevin Uggan, Pitbull Empire, and so now that we've got the genealogy and everything straightened out, I think that I laughed, and Kevin's like, "Can we post this, bro? I'm getting a lot of calls." So I'm like,
I got a lot of calls. I'm showering and the phone's going crazy, and I'm like, "What's so important at like this early in the morning?" And they're like, "Just so you know,
are you and Kevin okay?
Congratulations to you and Frank." I'm like, "What? What are you guys talking about?" I have no idea. But yeah.
You know, if I didn't love Kevin so much, I'd say, "Good catch, Frank. Way to go." Anyway, 928 on the program, and I'll put this up on the screen. This is not going to annoy or anger anybody, but I think it is kind of interesting. The University of Guam is getting involved in a I've never seen one of these things before. It's interesting. Taiwan Scholarship for ALS Student Exchange, and so there's going to be a whiskey tasting tonight, isn't it?
Yes, tonight, 6 p.m. at the Guam Museum.
Okay, all right. Now tell me a little bit about this Taiwan Scholarship, if you will.
So it was a brainchild of, it was really a culmination of brainchild of the Taiwan Economic and Cultural Office. Calvalon Whiskey.
Yeah, we used to call that. There used to be a different name for that office there, but it angers the mainland Chinese when we refer to them as a consulate. So but yeah,
so economic and cultural office, Lucky Supplies, and of course the College of Natural and Applied Sciences. So they wanted to create a scholarship, an agriculture and life sciences scholarship, and also kind of make it an exchange student program. And so in order to be able to fund the scholarship, we're having a whiskey tasting tonight, 6 p.m. at the Guam Museum.
How come you don't have it at school?
We can't have it at school.
Yes, you can.
It's a dry cap. Well, actually, we can.
Yes,
we can.
you can.
We definitely can. We have before, but we wanted to have somewhere a little bit more central, more easier access. And the Guam Museum is beautiful, so we definitely wanted to have it there.
All right. So what time does it start again?
6 p.m.
Until 9:30.
Until 9:30.
At the place, and $100 gets you. And what else do I get for $100? I mean, are they giving away bottles? Do I get to sample it that way?
You get to definitely sample the bottles. We have different types of Calvalon whiskey available for sampling tonight. I tried the green one in the green bottle. I think it's I forget what it's called. The original is the malt whiskey, and that's very popular. Calvalon Classic single malt whiskey. They also have the Calvalon Concert Master Port Cask Finish, and that is really nice and smooth. It's so good.
Okay, so I'm not a whiskey guy, so I would need somebody walking around. Will there be representatives from Calvalon there to describe this?
Yes, they will be there tonight. Aside from the whiskey tasting, we're of course going to have poo-poos, and we're going to have entertainment by Gene and Joe.
Okay, gotcha. So if you're looking for some way to get it done, now it looks like there was an effort earlier to get this to get everything pre-sold. So, but tonight's the night. There's still room. We still got tickets. So how do I get the tickets? Now I see a QR code. If you're watching on something, you should be able to snap the QR code on the screen, and it should work to take you to someplace so you can buy the ticket.
Yes, you can. And if it doesn't work, you can always visit our website, give.uog.edu, and you'll see it once you just click on the website. It should pop up in the news portion when you just scroll down. And of course, you can always call our office, or you can buy tickets at the door. Okay,
the unbelievably easy way to get things done. Appreciate you coming into the studio. I know it's kind of last minute and everything working for tonight. You got anything coming up in the next couple of weeks that you can tell us about so I can plan better?
Yes, because it is G's for Giving. Our campaign kicks off in November, G's for Giving. And thank you so much, because you guys are always so supportive. We're going to be having our G's for Giving campaign run until the end of December. So we're going to be looking.
Oh, it's for giving.
G is for
I
giving.
thought that was for Gibson. That's why every time they come in with that shirt on, I'm going, G for Gibson. Oh, it's for giving. Okay, I got you now.
So we're going to be having our Giving Tuesday event, and we're going to be announcing that soon. We're going to be having workshops on how students can apply for scholarships. We're going to be having workshops on how different donors or business people in the community can participate and give back if they wanted to start a scholarship, if they wanted to fund a program. We'll be able to answer all their questions.
Okay, so start thinking about putting all that together. How can people find you again?
They can find us on our website, give.uog.edu, or they can visit our office at the UOG Dean Circle, warehouse number 10, and our phone number is 671-735-2957.
House number 10 used to be a crack house. Did you know that?
Wow.
No,
next door had the bones.
No, I'm just kidding. It's 11. 9:32. I'll be right back.
Hafa, I'm Amanda Shelton. It's been my greatest honor to serve as your senator. We've been able to accomplish so much during this time for our Manumku and our Manhoban, and as we turn the corner of the pandemic, I remain inspired by our island's strength and will continue serving in ways that uplift and empower our people. I humbly ask for one of your votes this election. Seduas Maasi.
Paid for by the committee to elect Amanda Shelton, number 6 Democrat, Johnny Coulter's treasurer.
Subway's Eat Fresh, Refresh chicken choices have so much. How are we going to fit them all in one commercial?
Subway's new Baja Chicken and Bacon is loaded with hand-pulled rotisserie-style chicken, hickory smoked bacon, sprinkled with spicy buttery pepper jack cheese, and drizzled with Subway's Baja Chipotle sauce. Man, this is making me hangry.
And get this, Subway's Chicken Bacon Ranch is stuffed with melted Monterey cheddar cheese, tender all-white meat chicken on your choice of fresh hand-sliced veggies and freshly baked bread. You pick the tagline.
Subway, gotta refresh to be fresh.
Kona Brewing Company, Wenti Vineyards, and First Hawaiian Bank presents internationally renowned slack key master, Ledward Ka'apana. Ledward Ka'apana, founding member of the legendary Hawaiian music group Hui Ohana, joined Grammy-nominated and multiple Nahoku Hano Award winner Ledward Ka'apana for 2 magical nights.
Saturday, November 12th, the Tsubaki Tower, doors open at 6 p.m. And Sunday, November 13th, the Hotel Nico Guam, doors open at 5 p.m. Tickets are available at Ambrose and at the door. $40 in advance and $50 at the door.
Slack Key Master Ledward Ka'apana, live on Guam, Saturday, November 12th and Sunday, November 13th.
Presented by Kona Brewing Company, Wenti Vineyards, and First Hawaiian Bank. Special thanks to Choice Broadcasting, The Point, Star 101, and Boss 104.
All too often, governments do too little in some areas, but too much in others. Felix and I want government to provide basic services and stay out of people's lives. Government overreach will not happen during our administration. The Camacho Ada team believes in 3 co-equal branches of government, not having one exert power over the others. For more information on our plans for government services, visit CamachoAdaforGuam.com. This will be a new season.
I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Ada.
We approve this message.
Got a thing on my Instagram from the Camacho Ada for Guam, and it's a video of Governor Eddie Bazacalvo urging the people of Guam to vote for Camacho Ada. Hey, where's the one with Mary Torres?
Yeah.
It's kind of the one I want to see. I'm curious because she's got an article in the newspaper about unity, and I didn't see that one yet. So maybe that's going to happen later on today. Maybe they're, I don't know, makeup or lights or whatever it is that they got to do to get that kind of thing done. 9:35, Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. What the heck happened to my hair in the last couple of minutes? I was busy doing selfies, and I don't know, something went sideways with the hair. Where to now? Studio time 9:35, and here's what we've got for you guys. Today is the Friday before the general election, and I'm excited as a kid before Christmas. I'm curious as to see how people will respond or not to things that have taken place in this town over the last 4 years. And I'm not just talking about the, Adelup, Lulian Guerrero, Josh Tenorio. There are certain things that I've differed with them on, policy-wise, politically, with regard to COVID-19. I wish we had been more like Florida and less like California in our reaction or overreaction to all of that. It could have been worse. We all saw videos that played, or maybe you didn't. I don't know where it is that you find your news and information. But we saw all these videos of all kinds of just strange kind of people getting literally thrown off the bus if they weren't wearing a mask. And I'm going, well, we could have just given the guy a mask, right? As opposed to, you're not wearing a mask. And the vilification of the unvaccinated people, it's funny because you hear people in the pro-choice movement always talking about, my body, my choice. But when it came down to my choice on whether or not I wanted to have the vaccine in me, then no, you can't do that. And I'm trying to figure out what the moral integrity was here, the moral. How is it possible that you can exist in one world but not necessarily the other? And everything that we know about the vaccine, its efficacy, and it appears that has the science changed all that much? Where we are now versus where we were then? I mean, have we come up with new testing methods to determine the efficacy of certain medications? I don't know. I just know that a lot of the things that were coming out of our government, their government, turned out to be wrong. And
it's better to ask for forgiveness, Ray.
No forgiveness.
Than it is to ask for permission.
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what. How about asking for forgiveness then? How about that? We're not getting that. There's no outpouring of any kind of, I'm sorry, that car score thing. I'm sorry if that just confused the hell out of everybody. We didn't know. And the guy that came up with it is gone. So what are you going to do? What are you going to get mad at me because you can't reach out and throttle him? Is that what's going to happen? And the answer is yeah. Did you get a second opinion? I don't put toenail fungus cream on without getting a second opinion. Did we bother doing that? Well, we put together a panel of experts. And you can say what you want to about the panel of experts. What I'd like to see here when we start thinking about how we're going to be making the changes, and I hope with a majority of people over at the legislature that think like I do, that they will take apart the rules, regulations, statutes that guide leaders, and in this case, that's what they got to be, leaders of the community in public health emergencies, so that there is a kind of check and balance on all of that. So that, we recognize you got to move fast, got to move with alacrity in these moments, in these early times, in whatever kind of emergency it is. But after, say, 3 months, do we still need all that? Do we need it 6 months later? Do we need it 2 years later? That's the thing. So we've got this election that's going to be coming up, and I hope you also vote based on your pocketbook. I also hope that you vote based on your ability to live a life similar to the one that you had prior to COVID-19. I'm trying, but the life that I'm leading right now is hella expensive. My dining out habits haven't changed all that much now as they did before COVID-19. I was still hanging out with my friends, go meet up for happy hour or something like that, go grab a dinner someplace, fight over the bill. Now it's one of those, as soon as I sit down someplace, separate checks. Excuse me, it got to be separate checks. I'm sorry. I can barely, in my mind, afford 2 people eating in certain restaurants. And I can't explore the concept of, holy smokes, there's 4 of us? I know it's your birthday, but I can't really treat out the whole thing. And it's anymore is like if I go out and have late lunch or early dinner with my daughter, it means I can't go out and have a late dinner with anybody else. Because I said, there's my food budget for the day. The cost of everything is going up. You look at the price of gasoline, and I don't want to be the guy that burst your bubble, but it's going to go up, and it's going to go up before too much longer because they're going to sunset that thing on taxes and fees for liquid fuels. So you got to brace yourself for that. And before too much longer, the power bill is going to go back up. Why? Another LEAC? No, they already did the LEAC. Well, they didn't. No, there's going to be another LEAC, and that $100 gift from the governor is going to be going away. There's a report, and any side can take a little bit of swing at the other if you want to on this. The governor's office can come out and say, hey, gross domestic product for Guam in 2021 is up. We picked up 1.1 points. But that doesn't make up for losing 11 the year before that. And I get it, COVID-19. But did we really have to shut down the economy to the degree that we did in order to, flatten the curve? As much as we did, businesses that went out of businesses, investments that couldn't get made. And then, I'll read it again because I think it's interesting, the point that is being made by the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Before everybody go running around and wrapping yourself in the Guam flag and saying, we did that. Coronavirus impact in the 2021 Guam GDP estimate says it was affected by the continued federal government response related to COVID-19. Territorial government and consumer spending were supported by federal payments authorized by the CARES Act of 2020, the CRRSA Act of 2021, and the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Expenditures funded by these payments are reflected in the GDP estimates. That's what they've got to say about that. How did people go out and afford to be able to buy? How many new cars were sold on Guam during COVID-19? How many people had money to be able to go over to Home Depot, Benson, everywhere, and get all the supplies they needed to put a fresh coat of paint, extension on the house, and all of that? All of that was supported. I didn't, personally. I think, what was my big expense during COVID? I bought one of those the $1,600 Ryobi pressure washers. I think that might have been the biggest thing I put some money out for. I don't know. I had other expenses, but they certainly weren't funded by anything coming out of the governor's office. At any rate, 942, play around with that. 888-825-5888-TALK is the telephone number around here. Might as well get somebody on the line here. Good morning, Mark. Welcome back.
Raymond.
Buddy.
Hey, dude, I got one for you for Tuesday.
Okay, ready?
I just heard a campaign thing on your channel here about half an hour ago about all the failures of COVID that the governor is taking credit for.
She's taking credit for the failures?
No, she's making it sound like it was a success. Now they're finding out that they've been finding out for the past year that it's been a failure.
Well, I don't know who's just finding out. I've been saying it's been a failure since day one.
Yeah, so have I.
The day that they said we're going, you can land airplanes on Guam, but everybody that comes off that airplane is going into quarantine for 2 weeks. I thought that's ridiculous.
Yeah, everything that was mentioned in that ad, I had to laugh about it, and I wanted to call you and share with you because I know about the vaccine and all that good stuff. Everything was put in doubt, and everything was being contradicted 6 months after the COVID lockdown. Everything, the lockdown, the mask, the vaccine.
You got to say roadblocks like Jeff from Pirates Cove. You got roadblocks.
Yeah, roadblocks, all that garbage that supposedly then they put out that they saved approximately 2,500 lives. Yeah, but they ruined 25,000.
Right.
So, I've seen the stateside commercials for campaigns. Nobody uses the COVID in a campaign commercial. Nobody.
You would think they wouldn't want to bring it up is a point. You'd think that they just want to walk away from that. Ooh-de-doo-de-doo. Did that happen? Really? Did we do that? I would do that in a debate where I was side by side with my competitor, but I sure wouldn't put it into something that everybody can see.
Yeah, my suggestion is she should tell her campaign team to take that one down because she's calling them successes. But right now, in everyone's face, it's a giant failure, especially the kids, keeping the kids out of school. That's a big failure on their part. And she is a medical technician, and everything the science says was the kids are very susceptible to surviving. It won't affect the kids, but yet she keeps the kids out of school.
Well, and worse, started talking about getting them vaccinated. I mean, now it's like they're talking about doing vaccinations from birth on all of this. And I'm going, you guys, let's be real here, and let's take a look at what the science is and what the real numbers and the risks are. And the risks are no greater, I think, and it seems to me that the numbers seem to bear them out than the flu. I mean, it's, you know, you take a look at the flu. Little kids die from the flu and over the years. Old people die from the flu over the years. People that are susceptible to respiratory issues have died as a result of that. And nobody ever went back and checked the science. They're doing it now and saying, oh, wow, we didn't. Boy, you want to talk about not calling that right. And now they're asking for amnesty. They want to be able to be held harmless from all of these decisions that they made. They just want everybody to forget. And I'm not going to forget.
Yeah, and when their favorite saying, we follow the science. Junk science may be, but not the science. Because if they followed the science, they would have done everything right.
The science,
that's when the science came out.
Mark, the science was already there. The science was already there. I've got somewhere around here a recording of the governor speaking before the Nurses Association, February, March, and saying, yeah, we're aware that COVID is out there, but we know that it's only going to affect people of a certain age. We know that it's going to affect people with predisposed heart issues, respiratory issues, things like that. Shouldn't be a problem for kids. And we were going to. From there, it started looking like there might be some suggestions being made about masks and distancing and hand washing, but that was all it was going to be. And then, like I said, the guy that came, the author of the Car Score, came out and said that there would be more casualties from COVID-19 on Guam than all of the deaths, including the Liberator forces in the Second World War, and worked to scare the hell out of everybody. And they were wrong at every turn.
Yeah, and you're wondering when she's going to come out to say that the declaration is going to be over. She's going to wake up on Sunday and go, "Oops, I forgot something."
Yep. Well,
so everything is going forward. Everything is like the science said. It's going to be an endemic, or it should be an endemic now.
It is.
This is going to be a flu type situation. But see, if she opens her mouth and says that GDP increase of 1 point whatever it was,
driven by federal dollars, you got to make a point of that. All of those recovery dollars were the things that were out there they were able to put into people's hands so that they could go and buy whatever they needed, and to help. The bigger spending was coming out of the government of Guam. That's why the numbers went up.
Yeah, and after she makes that declaration and the federal dollars are taken away, the GDP is going to go back to about 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe even more,
That's the main reason why she's not the only one. All the other governors and the states are doing the same thing, except for Florida. Florida is saying we don't need that.
Well, like I said, we've had our differences with the way the island is led. I'd wish that it was led more like Florida and less like California, where they take these skate parks in the beach in California, and they bulldoze sand into them so that the kids couldn't go skating. Yeah. There were people in Hawaii. There were people that were arrested for standing on the grass at the edge of a park. If you were standing on the street, no problem. But if you were on the grass at the edge, then you got cited, and all kinds of businesses. Thankfully, what finally happened was all of those cases went before a judge, and I recall reading that the judges threw out thousands of those citations just because stupid. They were stupid.
Yeah, just like the citations here on Guam, you're going to get a ticket if you're partying with over 50 people.
Yep. Oh, you remember when they were encouraging neighbors to narc on their neighbors? Is if you see if there's somebody in your place having a good time, then you need to call somebody, dial 311 and drop a dime on them. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of dividing the community. And one last thing before I let you go, Mark, is the thing that we've got to do is the legislature. The legislature has got to make it so that the people that are making these decisions have to be vetted by the legislature. I mean, there were clerks that nobody had ever heard of over at the Department of Public Health, and all of a sudden they were vaulted into positions of authority, making decisions about how the rest of the population was living. And I'm going, I don't know who the hell this person is. They never showed. They were never vetted. They were never, over. There was never anything over at the legislature that approved their nominations into these positions. They were just people that were holding the job down.
And going back to that point, it should have been if the governor wants to do it, she can bring it up, but the legislature has to approve it.
I agree.
I agree. I totally agree with that because, like I said, there's one person. What did she say?
Well,
I'm the governor, and you have no say.
Well, at the end of the day, it wouldn't have made any difference because the last two legislatures filled with cowards, or worse, they were complicit. Or worse, they were complicit. I dream of the days where we had a guy, and people would go, what are you talking about? I dream of the days when we had people like Ben Pangilinan at the legislature. His job as the speaker, his job as a leader at the legislature was to be the holy, bloody opposition to the first branch of government. That was his job, to be the loyal opposition. We live here. We're all on the same page, but just because you have an idea doesn't mean that I have to agree with it. And that was his mode of operation with Republican governors, and that was his mode of operation when Carl was in there as well. I mean, it's one of those things. This is my job. My job is to question what you think your job is. Anyway, got to break away. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Brett. Have a good weekend.
All right, hey, you take care. And, hey, have a good weekend before the election. Then you can pull the rest of your hair out.
No, I'm going to go and find a post-election hat if I do end up pulling my hair out. The only reason why I would pull my hair out, honestly, is if Mana doesn't make it back in. Oh, and Jimmy's listening, going, "What about me? Well, hold on." And Doug's going, "Hey, I gotta be real, man. I gotta be real. Gotta be for real." So I'm getting requests from all over the place from people going, "Whoa, I need a copy of that video. I need to have a copy of that video." Hey, maybe this is the bombshell. Real Joe, maybe this video here is the bombshell. Maybe this is the one that will hold in stark, bright, vivid colors the failure of the government of Guam. I'm not going to say it's everybody, lose failure, the legislature. It's the failure of the government of Guam right there in front of God and everybody out there at the intersection of 1 and 16, Micronesia Mall intersection. I used to call it the Chicken Joy intersection. All of a sudden, here is an altercation at this homeless encampment that we have here. And it's not enough that there's a homeless encampment there. We knew that there were moments of violence there, but now it's obvious. There's a fight going on here, and normally you'd think of the woman as a peacekeeping force. Oh, wait a second, boys, break it up. But she goes in there and she's wailing pell-mell on somebody with a piece of wood. And not only after she's broken it in half, all of a sudden starts stabbing the guy with it, bang in the head, just whopping everybody. And here comes another guy with a skateboard. And I will say this with as much passion as I did the first time I played this. If you are in the government of Guam, this is your fault. This is your fault. Somebody needs to do something about it, and somebody needs to do something about it today. It needs to go out there. Everybody that lives there, as far as I'm concerned, is an accomplice and needs to go before a judge. And while they're at the judge's place, we're going to go clean that place out, and that's going to be the end of it. I don't want to live in the government housing. Too bad. You have to live in government housing as you're not living on the streets anymore, and we're not going to have this kind of crazy drunken drama out in front of the kids, in front of the tourists, in front of just regular people that are scratching their head going, what the hell is going on in this town? If you're the governor of Guam, you need to put together a task force right now to clear that place out by the weekend. That's what we need. You want that in front of everybody when they're driving up to the Dado precinct to get their vote in? Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, as you're driving to the polling places, take a look at all of the new homeless that you are seeing. Take a look at all the new homeless encampments. I wasn't going to put it up on the screen, but what the hell, since my day started this way, I might as well end it this way. Stand by when I close, stop, back up. I went to go and grab the newspapers this morning at the place where I normally go to get my newspaper, and what greets me, I didn't even get out of the car, but there it is, right there in front of the gas station, 4:30 in the morning. A couple of guys
So peaceful.
couldn't make it any further than that. Well, they must have had, long drawn out political conversation about some of the things they'd like to see change in 2024. Maybe there needs to be more by way of services. Maybe there needs to be more by way of help for people like that. So at 4:30 in the morning, they're sleeping on a futon somewhere, maybe a couch somewhere, someplace, as opposed to living homeless on the streets. 9:56. People, we cannot get used to this. We've got to do something about it, and we got to do something about it. And you can do something about it. Tuesday, by the way. I'll return in a moment. How about catch you by surprise?
Yeah, you did.
Did we take care of all the ads?
We did.
No.
Yeah, we handled it because we had, Roro and then...
Oh, all the extra break opportunities. Oh.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. Just got to figure out how the hell I'm going to kill 4 minutes. Thought there I was. I was done with the show. Where did I?
We're almost there, dude.
I know. And it's easy to come up with a riff. I just need the topic that I wanted to riff on here. And the truth is, I might have thrown all the good ones away. Did I want to do a magistrate report? Do I have something funny in here? No, I already did the fun part. When the officers conducted a pat-down search for weapons, the officers observed a large bulge in his front waist pocket area. That was
huge.
That was kind of the fun one. Well, not really. As it turns out, it was apparently just a large methamphetamine pipe to smoke with. When the officers asked what it was, he said it was a pipe. When the officer asked again, he said it was ice. When the officer requested to take the item out of his pocket, he stated, "Yes, sir, go ahead." The officer, we got to have some sweet music behind this. The officer pulled out the item and was in a resealable bag that contained a cigarette box. There was another resealable bag inside the cigarette box that contained crystalline substance suspected to be methamphetamine. He stated to the police that he took the clothes because he was homeless and needed clothes. He said that he received the ice from an unknown individual while he was at the beach. When the officer inquired what was the crystalline substance within the resealable bag, he stated it was ice. FYI, this guy was on a felony release for robbery and retail theft as a misdemeanor. Fellow's name is Stephen Duenas Chrysostomon. Unfortunately, I didn't get a picture with this because if I did, I would have loved to just put it up on the screen so people that own stores. And you're getting that feeling after some of the video that did you see the video? I did play the video from JS Store, right?
You did, yeah, the robbery.
The robbery over at JS Store where the guys, not really a strong arm robbery. I don't know how we define all of that, but I mean, a bunch of guys going into the store. And a group of them, these guys had a plan when they went in there. And the idea was, okay, we're going to walk in and everybody will be distracted. Well, the guy that worked in the store with the hat to the back was not distracted. I'll back up to where he confronts a guy trying to walk out with 2 cases of Bud Light and says, not on my watch, Kimosabe. And it got so bad that one guy was able to throw the 12-pack to another dude that was waiting outside the door. And he jammed. He split. In the meantime, there were a couple of other guys that were were doing the blocking, so the one other assailant could get away with it. But this is the level of organization they're getting into, and the scary thing is this ain't all that far away from my house. And I've gotten to the point where I used to be one of those guys where, hey, people walking, in front of your house, and you're like, they're looking harmless. They're just, hey, what's going on? But now it's getting very, very clear that these guys have got some degree of criminal, I was going to say, masterminds, but it's clear that some of these guys have got the sense that God gave horses and are capable of putting together a plan, perpetrating a crime. Right now, all they're stealing is beer. But hey, it's getting worse, and somebody's got to do something about it, and that's what you ought to ponder between now and the time where you show up at the election place. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, look, I gotta go. Got all kinds of work to get taken care of, and it's going to be a weekend for me. And so, as usual, as we say, if you see me out there over the weekend sometime, send me home. If you're hot, take me home. KUSG, I got you, 93.3. For Real Joe and Donna and Jerry Roberts, Ray Gibson saying, have a great weekend.
Sarah, Fox News. President Biden in New Mexico for part of today, lending his hand to the governor's race.
President Biden headed west to New Mexico.